There's been a lot of talk about MrBeast recently, about him trying to sue Dogpack, whoever that is, who made all of the MrBeast drama videos about how MrBeast is so awful and things like that. And I've seen things come out saying that those Dogpack videos are fake, but I don't know. And that's the whole point of this video, is because in this video, we're going to be going over everything MrBeast. I pulled up 3 different videos. I pulled up Ludwig's take on it because Ludwig is a friend of MrBeast's, but he tries to look at things objectively, but we can make the judgment on that. Soggy Cereal's video of him going over the entire truth about MrBeast and Dogpack 404. But again, we are going to be deciding whether or not we believe this stuff or not. And then there's going to be a tiny video of somebody else looking at it from their point of view. So we're going to see from 3 different sides all of the MrBeast drama, and we're going to go through it together. So let's go ahead and start off with Ludwig's take, because this one was made 3 months ago, while Soggy Cereals was made like a couple days ago, and then this one was made today. So we're going to start off with Ludwig's, and we're just going to binge MrBeast drama until we know everything about MrBeast, and then we'll know whether we hate him or not. Okay, let's go.
MrBeast messed up. Big time.
Did he?
I feel like I wake up every day to new allegations against MrBeast that are somehow worse than the previous allegations. And now there are so many allegations, they're hard to keep track of. And apparently, the worst is yet to come. He is taking an astronomical amount of L's. So many so, the explosion of L's is so big, I'm getting hit by the shrapnel of it all. And initially, I wasn't going to make a mogul mail about the MrBeast situation. And that was for 2 reasons. The first one is because I made a video on this channel about a week ago called I Don't Like This Channel. And in it, I basically talk about how I don't like doing drama videos. Drama videos do really well.
Yeah,
they get millions and millions of views.
I've seen a few creators talk about drama videos, and the reason they don't like drama videos is because drama videos attract like very toxic audiences with very divisive views on things like that.
But those viewers only want more drama videos. So I looked into more drama to make more videos to satisfy the viewers.
Because basically drama content is sort of toxic content in a way. But anyway, we'll let him talk about it.
It's a negative cycle. Like it loops, it feeds itself. It makes a lot of money. That's great. That's cool. But the viewers that come from it and the content that I make from it isn't something that I'm proud of or like. So I want to stop doing it. Over the past year, I've made half as many drama videos. And over the next year, I'll make a quarter as many until eventually I make none at all. But with this situation, it's obviously different. You know, not talking about MrBeast.
Yeah, MrBeast is his friend.
Is the most viewed video on my channel. I've appeared on his channel like numerous times. I know the guy personally. People obviously want to know my opinion. But I still thought making a mogul mail might be a mistake because I'm biased. I'm biased because I know MrBeast the person. And so MrBeast, as the owner of MrBeast the company, the malfeasance he's done, how he's treated his employees poorly, I'm coming in with a POV of what I have seen, which is going to taint looking at it objectively. So I figured making a mogul mail is not the best idea. And it's not like I'm hiding the situation by not making a mogul mail.
When's he going to talk about MrBeast?
There is a lot of coverage on it. More than probably any situation outside of maybe someone making an apology with a ukulele in the past 5 years. So I figured all I really needed to do was address this situation by watching like the Dogpack 404 video from the former MrBeast employee on
which
stream,
apparently
and then I could move on to doing things that I wanted to do, like gaming, playing Super Mario 64, enjoying the State Farm Gamerhood, yada, yada, yada. And anyway, this led to what I would argue is my greatest title and thumbnail ever. Does MrBeast fake his videos? Kids discuss. And also led to my worst.
I feel like there's
been
hundreds of those videos,
because frankly, the live stream was embarrassing. It was me watching the video, like kind of just trudging through it, pausing, talking about random aimless shit, trying to basically get through it so I could say, look, I've watched this thing. Now can I please move on to gaming, without actually objectively looking at what's being said and admonishing where MrBeast went wrong and giving my actual
contributing something useful.
I basically wanted to just get it over with without actually taking it at face value. And don't have to take my word for it. You can look at the fucking like to dislike ratio on that live stream. I think it's the worst live stream I've ever done in terms of dislikes. 53%. That's a failing grade. And it was
a failing grade.
Fact,
yeah,
this live stream I did was so bad. I took such a big L that one of the biggest ASM artists on YouTube, a quarter of the internet known for trying to calm people down and relax them, made a 15-minute video roasting me. This is one of the biggest ASMR YouTubers. He put on a fucking roast session. Got rid of the ASMR. He usually makes commentary about ASMR scandals, which apparently there are a lot of. I didn't know about all that. And paused to talk about me in the video's titled "The
So
Controlled
people who talk about
Opposition
MrBeast get shit on.
And anyway, I'm going to play a portion of it here.
Ludwig especially navigate through this entire drama and issue with the MrBeast company over the past few weeks has got to be some of the most insufferable content I think I've ever seen. And don't take my word for it, take his audience's word for it. Ludwig will...
And he's totally right about that fact. The audience was not happy, and look, man, I wasn't happy. It's not like I'm fucking looking back on that stream and I'm like, damn, kill that one. It was bad. This is fake. I just showed you the likes, dislikes. I don't know where this is from, but his point still stands.
That's a whole other thing about the add-on for seeing the YouTuber dislikes,
to basically say
or the
that,
video
you know,
dislikes.
I spent most of the video
there's a whole thing
focusing on
about
like a few points that were maybe weaker in the Dogpack 404 video, rather than the broader points that were bad, like the illegal lottery or like forging his signature on different hoodies.
Now, instead of actually addressing the serious allegations to do with promoting gambling for children and illegal lotteries, Ludwig spends commentary towards how Dogpack 404 knew MrBeast had staged his 7 days out at sea, and how Dogpack could verify that MrBeast was on a yacht or not, which completely just...
Now, just to push back a little bit here, I did have a conversation with Dogpack 404, the creator of the video. He turns out to actually be a Ludwig viewer. If you look at his most recent video, there's even a point in it where you can see, like, in the sub box, my little face is there doing the smile thing, and I am live at that moment. And so anyway, I called him on stream, but I called him on stream at about the 16-minute mark of the video, which is before any of the illegal lottery stuff. So when I called
that's
him,
a whole
I
thing
asked
too. I don't
about
know
what
anything
happened
about the
in
illegal
the first
lottery
16
stuff.
minutes of the video, which the video's a slow burn and starts off with a lot of stories about things being fake on the channel.
But apparently recently all that stuff is being
which
debunked.
surprised me, right? And this is the exact
Which is why we're
point that
starting
I'm
with
talking
this
about.
one, because this video is a little older.
You can clearly see there's no one in the shelter. These are their empty beds. But after a hard cut, magically 5 people are awake, and 2 of the boys have bright yellow raincoats that they didn't have when it rained on day 2.
And after standing the whole night completely soaked...
You didn't spend the night soaked, Jimmy. You slept on the production yacht. It's ironic because this is one of the...
And so I was just surprised by this. Like, I'm watching this live, I'm reacting to it. I'm like, damn, I'm shocked Jimmy would do something that dumb, right? Like, for a guy who walks around saying I don't fake videos, for him to leave during the middle of the night, go onto a production yacht is crazy.
It just sounds
I've
like
done Mr.
somebody
Beast videos,
is, I don't know.
In the ones I do,
they're
he doesn't let me
just
fake
reaching.
them, right? I had to spend 31 hours
I don't
on
know.
a plane crash that happened, and I had to sleep on a plane wing. And so I was curious if this was either Dogpack extrapolating from the screenshot of them not being on the screen, that they obviously must not be on the raft. Where are they? Well, Jimmy's rich. They probably bought a yacht. Or if he had some insider intel. That is basically what happened. And this is where the initial allegations of controlled opposition started. And so for context, this is me having a call with Dawson, the Dogpack. Did you work on that video, or are you going off the video?
Yeah, because Dogpack was like a former employee, right?
What does that mean?
I mean,
then he
you're
got
trying to get
fired?
me to reveal confidential information and break my NDA.
I don't know what your NDA is. I'm trying to ask questions about the freaking thing.
Oh, you know what?
This just sounds like a man trying to make drama.
I don't know what your NDA covers. Okay, what should I not ask you?
Because that should be
About
pretty
any videos
obvious.
that I worked
Ludwig
on.
doesn't know that.
And so Dawson just said not to ask him about any videos he didn't work on. But, you know, to be
But how
clear,
do we know
I
which
asked
ones
him
he didn't?
when he worked at MrBeast Incorporated first.
I signed the first NDA February 22nd, and then, yeah, it was like April 20, whatever they said, April 20.
So basically February to
Also, why does
April,
Mr. Beast
even
have a whole
May
bunch
or
of
whatever you want to say,
NDAs
of
if-
2024 of this
I mean,
year.
he's just
That's
making
when he worked
YouTube.
there.
He's not making like
But
Marvel
this video,
content.
7 Days Stranded at Sea, came
I don't
out
know.
August 2023. So
What would a Mr.
look,
Beast
just-
NDA
I didn't think I was
cover?
asking a question that
I have
broke
no
his
idea.
NDA. I thought I was asking a question about some intel he might have heard from a former employee or like, you know, someone he had worked with in the past. Not anything that he knew that he wasn't allowed to divulge. Point aside, ultimately, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I did watch the rest of the video, and I did see the illegal lotteries, right? The forging the signatures, and didn't.
What is that?
make
What does
enough
that
comments
cover,
about
though?
How that was
Like,
wrong
what-
to
like,
do.
what is that?
And like, frankly, it is fucked up to sell hoodies that have your signature that somebody else signed on your behalf is wrong, right? You shouldn't do
that's
that.
wrong.
They should just sign with their names. It's fine if you get a hoodie and it's signed by like Tyler instead of MrBeast, but you just can't have Tyler sign on behalf of MrBeast. And personally, I think MrBeast should do right by those people. He's rich, fucking refund them, right? And then the illegal lottery, the same thing. When people do illegal lotteries in the United States and it goes to court, what happens?
They
give
upcharge
all
a
the money they
sweatshirt
made
because
from
Mr. Beast's
those illegal
signature
lotteries
is on
back,
it, and then
they prove
but it's
that
not
their
his
business
signature.
practices have changed, so it doesn't happen in the future, right? You know, he might even be able to go one step beyond
isn't that like a
and
form of
not do
fraud?
like the shady cereal box thing where it's like impossible to sign up for free and make it a little easier on people. But what helped most of all was after that first stream, I just talked to Dogpack offline. But talking to him online was a much worse environment than talking to him offline. And he gave me good perspective, which is that, look, I know MrBeast the person. And with my experiences with him, I came to the conclusion that, I thought he was a good person. I thought he was doing right by people. I never worked at MrBeast Incorporated. I
Yeah,
just
but the
know
way
as, like,
Dogpack
talent
talked
on
on
shoots,
that
how he operates.
interview that Ludwig just
And
showed,
Dogpack
it
came
really
with the
sounds
idea
like
of, well,
Dogpack
look,
really just...
You don't know MrBeast.
He
the
kind of
company,
likes the drama.
right? Or MrBeast, like the CEO or whatever the title he has at his company. And the things he does there,
just talking about it with the
they
way
don't
that he
operate
was
well,
so ready to call
right?
out
His
Ludwig.
employees aren't being treated right. And that hits home to me. Like, I like treating my employees well. I mean, I made my company a workers' co-op. That is very important to me.
That's impressive.
It is not something that I take lightly. But I had to divorce the idea of, like, this guy that I knew, and what I think about this guy, versus how he operated his company and the bad things his company did. Now, so that first video, that was the main issue with it. And that was wrong. It was a shit live stream. Anyway, JoJo goes on to then talk about the most recent live stream I did, which was reacting to the second Dogpack video. And this one is an interview with Jake Weddle, a former employee who became a contestant, and the bad conditions he had as a contestant on a, 30 days in solitary.
See, this
video.
could also
Ironically
be
makes the
like...
take who Jake,
man.
who bear in
I
mind
mean, I'm
at
not
this
a
point is
Mr.
sleep
Beast
deprived,
stan
they
in
haven't
any
turned
way,
off the
but
lights
like...
whatsoever. He's had no exposure to sunlight, has been in solitary
if
confinement,
they're
has had to
calling
deal
him
with
fake,
awful
I mean,
putrid smells.
how do we believe
of,
them if they're trying
tubs
to
and
monetize,
dairy products
clout
and
off
paint
of the
fumes.
drama, or like
Ludwig
how do we know
actually
what's
makes
real?
The take that instead of MrBeast making the
I might be
challenge for Jake to
articulating
run
it right,
a
but-
marathon out of nowhere, he should have instead made the challenge for if he wins it, that MrBeast would actually then turn the lights off, which is an insane detached take to have.
The pay thing makes sense.
Yeah,
The
hang on,
bigger
I
thing
gotta go
that-
back and figure out what he
He
just
should have
said.
instead made the challenge for if he wins it, that MrBeast would actually then turn the lights off.
Hang on, we gotta go
Ludwig
back further.
Actually makes the take that instead of MrBeast making the challenge for Jake to run a marathon out of nowhere, he should have instead made the challenge for if he wins it, that MrBeast would actually then turn the lights off, which is an insane detached take to have.
The pay thing makes sense. The bigger thing that they shouldn't have done is made him run a marathon
Interesting.
and then kept the lights on. Like, that to me is the things that were wrong. So, yeah, just to be clear, I just said they shouldn't have made him run a marathon and they shouldn't have, like, kept the lights on. Right? Like,
Well, there
turn
you
the
go.
lights off, have some way. Because, like, usually in MrBeast videos, if there's something that a competitor struggles with, that then becomes the next thing he offers as, like, a way to detract money, and it becomes part of it. And it's what they do in, like, Survivor or other shows. You know, like in Survivor when they're not eating for a while, Jeff then comes up with a bag of rice that they play for or whatever that they can split. And so they adapt to how the person is struggling. So they should have done that with the light, obviously. And then not made him run the marathon.
What's going on? Like, you can't even do this stuff to terrorists, as they say in the video. How is this the take that you're making? And the comparison to, like, actually professionally produced TV shows like Survivor are inappropriate on all fronts, because those shows, as I said, are professionally produced with a safety team and HR and all of these facilities to ensure the contestants are being taken care of.
Look, I am not passionate about this analogy. What I was basically saying is that they should have kept the lights off. They just should have kept them off at night, allowed him to sleep. But they made a mistake. They fucked up. So then they should have at least adapted, right? They hear this guy, Jake Weddle, the competitor, complaining. They come in, they go, okay, we can turn the lights off in exchange for you giving up, like, a hot tub or whatever. Basically like what they did in the other video they made about solitary confinement, where they would give up items in exchange for money. You know, at least allow it to be a part of the contest instead of not turning the lights off and then also making him run a marathon, which several times I admonished throughout the stream because it's like obviously a fucked up thing to do. And the Survivor comparison came up because I know he's saying Survivor's professional. Some fucked up shit's happened in Survivor. Bulgarian Survivor, a guy died, and then they continued to air the show and showed his death on air. French Survivor, somebody died. They died. It was like a 25-year-old. They died because the conditions of Survivor are very difficult on the heart and the body, right? Even the most recent edition of the American Survivor, Liz didn't take a shit for 16 days.
Yeah, and also Mr. Beast is an entire corporation now, so it's like
becomes a medical emergency. So when you're past 2 weeks
he
of
could
not
afford
taking
and
a
make
shit,
it
and so that's why I was thinking
that
it's like, okay, when that happens in the show, they obviously aren't trying to kill these contestants, but they adapted it to make sure that they are doing better. And that's what they should have done in their MrBeast shoot. Not at all saying that, hey, to get the lights off, you have to give up $10,000 and run a marathon. Not it at all. Basically saying there was a lack of adaptation on the behalf of the producers and MrBeast company. And then he continues on to say the bigger fault that I had and probably the worst thing that I said in the entire reaction.
And the other take that Ludwig had said several times in the stream was, well, if he was having trouble, he could have walked away from this challenge whenever he wanted. He could have just stepped away. I mean, it's his decision at the end of the day. He didn't have to be there.
I empathize with the difficulty of the challenge, but ultimately you know what the challenge is when you go into it, and I think you can walk, right?
And it just...
So this is just a lie. I don't know why JoJo did this. I didn't say that several times. Here's the exact clip of me saying it. Empathize with the difficulty of the challenge, but ultimately you know what the challenge is when you go into it, and I think you can walk, right? And then I continued on. This is at the very start of the video before he even talked about how the lights being on breaks the Geneva Convention. It's a war crime. And at the end of my thought, I say this: value this man's experience based off of much worse experience. But this one, you can walk. Well, I guess we're going to get there. I just said, I guess we're going to get there because I was live reacting to it.
This seems like a lot. Imagine being MrBeast and you make videos like this and it's gotten to this point.
They're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh, good.
So this is after I said the he can leave thing because I just didn't know about it yet because I hadn't watched that part of the video. And towards the end of the video, I literally talk about how insane it is of the producers in MrBeast production to have set up an environment where an individual like Jake deteriorated so quickly. Within 10 days of him being in there, he was struggling so much with it that even now we're counting it 3 years later, it is an overwhelming topic to talk about. But what's more interesting to me is how quickly he deteriorated in the smaller time frame.
At this point, I wonder how much MrBeast actually has to do.
I guess that's how tough it was for him
content.
to be in that environment.
Because, like I said, it is like a corporation.
The smell
now.
and all that he was describing. And look, maybe JoJo just watched like the first part of the live stream, or found the worst things that I said out of context and threw it together, which is fine. I get it. But throughout the entire live stream, I thought that this story from Jake was horrible, right? Like, genuinely, I thought it was fucking horrible. It reminds me of that Japanese game show contestant, Nasubi, which Charlie made a video about, a guy who was kept in solitary for almost a year as a part of this huge Japanese variety show, an aspiring comedian who had the option to leave, but never left. And I've watched his Hulu documentary. It's really worth watching. It's called The Contestant if you haven't seen it. And so for everyone whose position is, oh, he could leave whenever he wants, it's not that easy. And I talked about this on my live stream. I mean, I don't even think like it needs to be that deep.
Is that dog
I just believe like if you are talent, like Jake Weddle was for the shoot, that like it. You know what's a good example? Really, fuck, man. Here's a homework assignment. If you guys haven't seen this shit, not even homework assignment. It's just a good video.
I could believe that MrBeast could be a sociopath because I mean, he said multiple times
it's about,
that
this Japanese comedian who took part in this wildly popular game show in
the
Japan,
way that like he
and there's a Hulu documentary called The Contestant
really
about
for
it.
fun.
And
It's all about
it,
content.
He describes how he spent a year of his life
that's like his
in
life.
a room in solitary, basically naked.
And it's all he cares about, really.
And why he never left, even though he was allowed to leave at any moment. And I think that Because the whole time you're watching, you're like, why didn't he leave? Why didn't he leave? And I think it's because the opportunity seems too great to pass up. So, like, I think he's trying to, like, connect that, like, oh, there's this document. It says, oh, you can't take no for an answer. There's a sales strategy, whatever. Like, I understand the connections he's trying to make. Sure, that's all fine and dandy. But I think much more powerful than any of that is the just, like, you know, the thought of, you know, this opportunity is too big to pass up or something. So I don't agree with the people who say he could leave whenever he wanted, right? There's $300,000 on the line. There was the pressures of the shoot.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And wanting to be a good
Can't just run away.
contestant. And Jake described himself as someone who grew up without any money. And so this money was life-changing, you know? Like, I totally understand why he didn't leave when he first started to struggle. And I understood that as I watch a video, which is what happens when you watch a video, right? Yeah, I didn't know it in the first 5 minutes of the video because he didn't get to that yet. So I don't know why JoJo went off to say all that shit about me saying that he could leave whenever he wanted. I disagree with that now. I disagreed with it when I watched the video. And I really think Nasubi is a good example for anyone who still thinks right now, like someone watching this probably thinks he could leave whenever he wanted. Watch that documentary. Because that guy, dude, a year, solitary confinement, naked, no human contact. Like, that changes you for the rest of your life. Literally the rest of your life. And he never left. Why? And, like, that documentary explains it in ways that I don't think I can to people who still think that same thought process. Hey, he can leave whenever he wants. It's also worth noting that my chat was cringe for the entirety of this stream. It's a lot of drama frogs, but it's also a lot of just ride or die MrBeast lovers who want me to be like the bastion in defender of MrBeast. And throughout the stream, I was defending Jake against weird people in chat. He's not reading off anything. Everyone keeps saying he's reading off stuff. He's just clearly like a stand-up comic or like, well, no, he's just clearly a fan of stand-up comic, a stand-up comic himself, and he talks very much like a stand-up comic does. Like a very much like the you know thing is like if you, there's like a, it's the same with YouTuber voice, there's stand-up voice, and he has stand-up voice. And just to be clear, people who are in my chat being cringe about the situation don't reflect how I feel about the situation. I tried to put it in members only mode to curb that in the first place. And if you're wondering how I feel about it, I'll tell you right now. I think Jimmy needs to make a reply. Like, he technically doesn't need to. He uploaded a YouTube video and it got 120 million views, and he could probably continue to upload videos without ever replying and continue to get hundreds of millions of views.
Well, I mean, this video is 3 months old, but he technically did reply because he said he did like a whole self-investigation where he hired a third-party investigator to investigate his entire like organization about, you know, illegal stuff and every, what do you call it? Every accusation that people were calling online about MrBeast, and he hired like a third-party investigator. But I mean,
but I won't be able to support him. I won't support him in any way, shape, or form if that's what he does. Because I think he needs to reply. Specifically,
we're basically just watching this to get some backstory.
A sex offender.
Before we get into the big one.
That's a crazy thing to do with a guy who runs a channel that is primarily targeted towards children. You know, apologize to Jake Weddle. Like, how did that situation end up as it was? Were producers on it fired? Like, what course of action was taken? Like, how was right done so no one else is treated like Jake again? You know, everyone who bought a forged MrBeast hoodie got to get their money back.
Yeah,
they got scammed. They got scammed. I love a good scam, but that's probably a little too much.
MrBeast ain't gonna do that though.
Everyone who participated in an illegal lottery needs to have right done by them, right? You need to just make up for everyone who participated
Unless
in
he
those,
did, and I'm dumb.
That is against the law. And then also show
which is the whole point of this video.
Change your business practices so that doesn't happen again. And finally, I also need to know about like Beast Games. Like, what is going on there? Obviously, a lot of that's shrouded in secrecy,
like his own
and it's
TV
like
show,
you know,
right?
little whispers. So what's actually going on? And that still doesn't account for him having to reply for things that haven't yet come out, right? Dogpack says a third part's coming out, and it's about how he covered up like sexual assault at the workplace, which is by far the most severe claim that has yet to come out that will come out. And he'll have to make a reply to that too. And when I say have to, I mean like that's at
but now
the
apparently
bare
MrBeast is
what I
might
expect
sue Dogpack
from him. Now, I did
because a lot of this stuff is debunked,
MrBeast,
but again, we'll get to that.
Because I was actually supposed to partner with him. The timing's not great. Obviously, we had these conversations months before any of this came out. But Feastables, his chocolate bar company, was supposed to be one of the big sponsors for streamer games. And so it was inked. We were supposed to do it. I called him and I said two things. One, when are you going to reply? And he echoed what was said in the Dogpack video, which is when everything comes out, he's going to make one reply as opposed to a reply after every single video. So we'll see when that happens. And then two, he allowed me to pull out. So, like, for everyone saying I'm controlled op, I'm paid by MrBeast to defend him, just so we're clear, I'm now losing 100K by not defending him, right? Like, that's just on the opposite side. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. This event's going to lose money. And I know you might be thinking, Ludwig, you're a millionaire. That's true. But this doesn't reflect against me. It reflects against Off-Brand. It's not a decision I make lightly. This decision impacts all the employees. And I'm not saying anyone's getting fired. Of course not. If we are over that cash low, I would make sure that I help the cash reserves. But it does reflect in the books at the end of the year. A company can only thrive if it's making money, if it's profitable. You can't be not profitable for years and still exist. And at the end of the year, we're going to be 100K down, which hits a lot.
Yeah, that's not very good.
It's not an easy choice to make, but I know it's the right choice to make. And I feel like putting my money where my mouth is should hopefully prove that I'm not paid to defend Jimmy in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, that's basically my thoughts on it. I know there's a new Dogpack video coming out, which I absolutely will be watching. I've been keeping up with basically everything, but maybe refraining from commenting online and leaving it to the more Pegasus of the world. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate you all.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
also a double-edged sword for Dogpack doing this stuff, is because, imagine an employer looking at Dogpack and things like that, and what Dogpack has posted about his employer. And imagine an employer looking at Dogpack and be like, what if I hire this dude, will he make crazy videos about me? I don't know if I should hire that dude, but I don't know. It's a double-edged sword for Dogpack making these videos. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the truth about MrBeast and Dogpack 404. Yeah, the Ludwig video we just saw, that was like 3 months old, so we just get a bit of backstory. But now, this one was made November 15th, and it's currently November 24th when I'm recording this. So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and start it off.
Well, because you're trying to fire me, and I want to work at this company.
I'm the CEO of this company. If I'm talking, don't interrupt.
And I've been trying to get to this point of working on MrBeast for a long time. Can I please have a second chance?
You were the manager of Dawson, or Dogpack 404.
Oof, I didn't know that they recorded the firing of Dogpack.
If you had to describe the working conditions when Dawson was working with you in ideation with one word, what word would it be?
I would say it was depressing.
The war crime stuff, that was a joke. Why did you make that joke?
Actively right now, by the videos that Dawson is making, he is actively hurting the philanthropy that is helping thousands and millions of lives.
I mean, that could be true.
Oh, so you want to cheaply manipulate people by imitating Content Cop? I'll show you imitating Content Cop.
Oh my god.
What we do here is go back.
What is happening? Is this just his entire intro? That'd be awesome. What is that?
Fuck.
I don't know what's happening in this intro. Is this a play on the YouTubers desperately grasping for money? Oh, who's the real criminal? Freaking both of them, man.
Hey, my bowl of cereal. As most of you have probably guessed by now, this video won't just be about this alleged fraudulent and manipulative asshole. It'll also be about this confirmed fraudulent and manipulative asshole, Dogpack 404, also known as Dawson French, and his victims of manipulation. For the people who have not been exposed to his propaganda yet, Dogpack 404, or Dawson French, is an ex-MrBeast employee who worked there for about 3 weeks, and after being fired, made
he only worked there for 3 weeks? Well, then for sure his stuff is fake.
And I became suspicious of Dogpack 404 after he called me overdramatic for not wanting to spread serious accusations with unsubstantiated unsubstantiated and easily refutable evidence. As well as because he tried to silence me with threats of slander after I started suspecting him of lying. So in this video, I will be debunking close to every accusation he and the people he manipulated have made. But Soggy, are you going to glaze the MrBeast, Soggy? Are you going to decry the largely owning, alleged intentionally registered sex offender hiring MrBeast, Soggy? No. See,
that was insane as well.
Kinda cringe. Logan Paul
apparently they just didn't do a check on him.
That's a yikes out of 10, okay? And the fucking
before hiring him
situation, that is disgustingly messed up, and I'm never eating that shit in my life. But that
and the lunch leaves have mold on them apparently.
Spiteful, vengeful ghoul accuses MrBeast of intentionally hiring a registered sex offender that he actually did. Yeah, let's talk about the lie spun by Dogpack and Jake Weddle that MrBeast knowingly hired a registered sex offender and while working at the company would refer to him by covert codename Delaware because of the crimes he committed there, and as a result is not allowed to go back into the state of Delaware,
about that.
and that MrBeast higher-ups are using that nickname because they enjoy messed up insider jokes like that.
When I was there, they called him Delaware. He's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why. Yeah. You know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, and whenever he is, he's wearing a mask.
Which, just saying that out loud makes it sound like a contrived side plot in a badly written Netflix series, since state banishments are extremely rare. Most recent one I found was a 1-year Kentucky banishment in the year 2000. Luckily, the real story is much more boring. See, according to a
he like worked at Best Buy, right?
Dustin Harris, who has been working
and his
at
name
Mr.
was
Beast
Delaware,
for
so
about
they just
6
called him
years
Delaware.
and went rogue because he couldn't stand Jimmy not responding to all of the misinformation being spread about not just Jimmy or the MrBeast company, but also about his own friends and colleagues. Well, he explained that
also, I love the
Delaware was
DVD
once a store
thing in the
manager at
background,
Jimmy's
like
local Best
jumping
Buy,
across
which,
on all the edges of the screen.
Best Buy is a $20 billion valued electronics retailer company with stores all over the US. I mean that when Jimmy was 19 and first started blowing up on YouTube, Jimmy realized he needed employees to improve his content. So, as a dumbass, impulsive 19-year-old randomly thrown into fame, he went to his local Best Buy and asked its employees if they wanted to work for it. Naively thinking that a multi-billion-dollar company would have at least made sure to not hire criminals and especially to not hire a registered sex offender as store manager, 19-year-old Mr.
So he relied on the corporation of Best Buy to check. Oh, I see.
Beast didn't do background checks. Was that stupid? Yes. Is Delaware a piece of shit? Yes. Should Jimmy take responsibility for making that mistake? Yes. But it wasn't this fucked up master plan by Jimmy to intentionally hire an RSO. It was a dumb mistake by an inexperienced adolescent starting up a business. And you don't need to take mine or Dustin's word for it. If someone did but a shred of research, you'd find this still publicly available almost 7-year-old video on the MrBeast channel where you can see Delaware as the Best Buy store manager before he was hired at MrBeast. And guess what nickname was embroidered on his Best Buy uniform? Delaware. Wow. Well, that was hard investigative research.
They called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. You know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos. And whenever he is.
So does he know that he's lying when he's saying this stuff?
He is.
I mean, probably.
He's wearing a mask. He's wearing a mask.
And for the people thinking that he still works at MrBeast, no. He was fired over half a decade ago. Now, Dogpack, before you say something along the lines of, what about the recording we showed from a real MrBeast employee talking about Delaware? Do you really want me to go into detail about how you and your cronies tricked an employee into saying what you wanted him to say to support your lies, and then you guys recording him and using that recording without his consent? Okay. Hi Garrett, can you tell me a bit about how long you worked at MrBeast?
I was at MrBeast from around 2017 to 2021.
So you've worked there for 5 years and could be seen as a credible ex-employee.
Oh, is this like...
Yep.
You're the person who we can hear
a real
talk
interview?
About Delaware in the recording Dawson or Dogpack 404 shows in his video. Can you tell me a bit about how that happened?
Yeah, it was not to my knowledge that I was being recorded at all. You know, I have a friend who, you know, I worked with plenty of times outside of MrBeast. Just thought it was just like a normal call, just checking up on him, him checking up on me. And, you know, when two people speak about old places, you know, there's drama, there's gossip, there's catching up, there's, you know, et cetera, whatever. And then the next thing you know, 2 weeks later, Dogpack releases like a 12 million view video where, you know, I just have a really crappy voice changer over my voice. And if you know me, like, you know it's me.
So was the entire call basically just rumors you were talking about with a friend?
Yeah, it's just a friend. We're just shooting the shit, and, you know, we're just gossiping a lot, catching up on, you know, the current drama. Like, it's just, it is nothing crazy. Like
nothing you said had any.
So Dogpack is really just out for clout,
as they try to construe in their video.
No,
makes complete sense.
You know, I don't think any of the stuff that we were talking
about. It makes
complete
sense that everyone here is just out for clout. You know,
it was just water cooler talk.
Would you say them using the call recording unconsensually in their video has damaged you or your life in any way?
Yeah, unfortunately. To say that it hasn't hurt me financially would be just a lie. You know, mentally, it's hurt me as well. I mean, I was manic and crazy for about a month and a half, trying to just watch relationships like fall through my fingers. You know, I lost someone that like was pretty close to me as well. You know, it just wasn't a good scene. So financially and mentally, it really messed me up.
Do you feel in any way like tricked, deceived, or used?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Say that I felt tricked or used is an understatement. Like, they knowingly came and did this. You know, I had like 3 or 4 contacts call me the night that it dropped, and I was watching the whole video trying to figure out like what they were talking about. And when it got to that recording, my stomach just like sank.
All because of a call that they unconsensually recorded, which you clarified was basically rumors and gossip.
Yeah. I didn't want to be involved with, didn't even know what was going on. That, you know, I was just thrown into unconsensually. And yeah, you said it, man. It threw a pretty big wall up.
Not all of
in
it,
the progress
apparently.
of my life.
No,
and I
not all of it.
Didn't feel like that was needed. And pretty upset.
But then, what about Jake the Viking's tweet about Jimmy's mom literally allowing her then barely of age son to knowingly be in contact with and hire a pedophile? First of all, have you thought about just how fucking absurd that sounds? And second, Jake the Viking is a shitty person and untrustworthy. Even Dogpack's friends agree on that.
Viking is not a good guy, and that's just an opinion based on his actions in my eyeballs.
Yeah, I always wondered why he was let go from
or
fired from MrBeast.
Hired a registered sex offender and created a nickname to joke about it within the company, to then try back up their baseless claims by tricking an employee and recording him without consent. That's pretty messed up, Soggy. Yahoo! That'd be as shameless as falsely accusing someone of committing war crimes against the Geneva Convention in a consented to solitary confinement challenge where you'd earn $10,000 a day and can quit whenever you want and still keep the accumulated prize money up until that point. During a time where we have multiple countries actively at war in the world with millions of people suffering because of it. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that only makes the drama more enticing.
He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
You know what? Let's ask Dustin about that, because ironically enough, Dustin is the good friend of Jake Weddle, who made those war crime comments. And I can prove it with Jake Weddle's own words.
One of my dear friends who I believe I lost is the same guy who did the war crime joke, which turned out to not be a joke. He got injured at MrBeast, and that's because of Viking. On that shoot, everybody else had to stay behind and clean up. And Viking said, fuck that, let's just throw all of this over the side of the mountain, like littering in a national park. And my good dear friend, who I kept saying was one of the good people over there, said, you're not going to do that. I'm not going to let you do that. And Viking said, watch me. And he did it. But my friend gathered up all the stuff he could to make sure there was just that much less litter. And that's a really good thing to do. He carried everything he could down the mountain, and he broke his ankle. They said, yeah, you were carrying too much stuff, right? Yes, he was. because that guy's a saint.
And blame me for our friend Dustin. I'll use names, unlike you. Our friend Dustin falling and breaking his leg, or not his leg, yeah, his ankle. I'm sorry, falling and breaking his ankle.
Now, why would someone who Jake Weddle
This is
himself,
so much crap already, and we're not even in.
Describes as one of the
we're
best
12
people
minutes
he has
in out
ever
of
known,
an
who literally
hour and a
broke
half.
his ankle trying to prevent
God.
littering, and in Jake's
This
own
is
words,
insane.
is a
I'm gonna
saint.
lose my own mind over this.
Go rogue to try and correct defamatory statements made against Jimmy if Jimmy committed war crimes. The war crime stuff was 100% a joke. I'm now a producer, but I was originally hired as comedy writer with Jake Weddle, so I just wanted to cheer him up with a dumb and edgy joke. Oh,
what?
So it was a joke. Dustin
So it's not
actually
real.
did say the war crime stuff as a joke. Okay, that makes sense.
what do we know
because
is
in
real?
a
What is-
follow-up
what is-
video
what is
of
fact?
Jake Weddle's and Dogback's interview, Jake Weddle seems to slip up, saying it was a joke.
He's the same guy who did the war crime joke.
Before quickly correcting himself.
Which turned out to not be a joke.
And his videos are pretty unedited, so he might have just accidentally let it slip through the cracks. And just to be clear, I'll show the clip of Dogback's 13 million viewed video again, in which Jake and Dogback clearly insinuated it wasn't a joke.
And I go up to my friend, my good friend. And I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
It's a really big allegation to say that, like, Mr. Beast took away your agency and, in a sense, kind of, like, forced you into doing this. But,
I agree. That is very serious. That's why I alleged it.
And viewers clearly didn't think it was a joke either. But just as I will rip into Jimmy later in this video, I'll also investigate Jake Weddle's story in more detail.
Yeah, everybody
later
should
in
be
this video,
investigated.
because
Freaking
in between
everybody.
him falsely accusing Jimmy of intentionally hiring an RSO and comparing himself consensually agreeing to doing a challenge for $10,000 a day, being allowed to leave whenever he wants, to rape victims and victims of war crimes, even though he knew that was a joke.
The same guy who did the war crime joke.
As well as spreading fake AI-generated incriminating voice recordings of MrBeast.
Oh my god. Imagine being that level of, like, celebrity in 2024. Yeah, where anyone can just do this.
That's right. I got that sent to me, and you know what? That was AI.
Maybe say that before playing the recording, because you worked at MrBeast, and you know how people will just watch the recording and then click off of the video without ever hearing your disclaimer that it was AI generated. Oh, but then you wouldn't get
Also,
as
if he
much
wants
money
watch
from
time, you put the
views
recording
because
later in
this
the video.
AI generated disinformation video is the one that got your channel monetized.
That's my brand, is being honest and crying a lot.
And then after making those slanderous claims, accept another $50,000 from Jimmy with no strings attached, there's a lot more to be said about him.
That's my brand, is being honest and crying a lot.
Oh my god.
And about how Dogback manipulated him. But let's first continue with all of the lies and manipulation of Dogback.
Yeah, they're all just using the drama to get a career on YouTube.
A wall. And this wall features most of Dogback 404's accusations. And I say most because at this point there are just so many that I might have forgotten a few. And every time I disprove one of his accusations, it'll be crossed through with red marker. Every time I prove one to be uncertain, I'll add a blue question mark to it. And every time an accusation Dogback made is true, I'll add a green check mark to it. And I know that you, and I, and everyone else wants to know about the illegal lotteries. Did MrBeast really commit 3 malicious and predatory illegal lotteries as get-rich-quick scheme? Well, I will talk about them throughout my video in between all of the other accusations, starting right now with the alleged illegal lottery
That's a lot of
claim
post-its.
Dogback 404. Or should I say doctoring up evidence to make more convincing claims you knew to be untrue back 404. Yeah, Dawson, I'm the first one who noticed. See, for the third illegal lottery, by sure to be in a video live stream, Dogback claims they only informed people on the website that no purchase was necessary. But did you read the description? You know, the description which I got via the Wayback Machine, where it literally says free entry available on site? Oh, but wait, you never actually found the description of that video, did you? You just made it look that way by doctoring up this fake YouTube UI.
Just
so it'd be more convincing and it'd look as if you had access to the original
manipulating
video and
everybody.
description, so people would more easily believe you. But I want you, the viewer, to closely compare these two layouts. This one is the UI when he talks about the buy a shirt to be in my video live stream, and this one is the actual current YouTube UI you see whenever Dogpack shows a screen recording of public videos you can still watch. And when putting the two side by side, you can see that the UI for the illegal live stream is not the real YouTube UI. Instead of rounded corners, they're sharp, the likes are gone, the upload date is in a completely wrong spot where it has never been, and the button sizes and title font just seem off. And no, it's not because he found an older YouTube UI via the Wayback Machine like I did, because they don't hide likes and YouTube has never had this exact UI. Sure, it had sharp corners once, but not in combination with these exact other UI elements. But you want to know the funniest part? Even the
what's the funniest part? Give it to us.
Dogpack found and then added a manipulative fake YouTube UI to actually had copied the original live stream's description. So even in the re-upload he found, it says that there's a free entry option. Yet he still doctored up this fake UI
this
to
is
make
crazy.
his intentional
This is actually
lies
insane.
more convincing. Nah, I'm just kidding. Funniest part is that MrBeast verbally says it on stream.
Go shopmrbeast.com, buy the shirt or hoodie. You can be one of the people that come down and compete in the video. There's also a free entry on the site as well. If you just 100 of which are going to be picked from you know, people that buy this shirt or hoodie, or if you enter for free on the site as well, it's, that's an option as well. So,
oh my god, you're so
wow.
sneaky. Now, when someone is prepared to talk with evidence to
somebody
make
didn't do the research, Mr.
incriminating
Dogpack.
lies more convincing, it automatically puts
or maybe he
every
did and he just
single
wanted to
one of their
manipulate the viewers,
accusations
which is
that
also true.
bulletproof into question. So, throughout this video, you'll also see that there are multiple examples of him leaving out crucial details from evidence that would easily disprove the accusations he's making. Because Dawson loves framing things deceitfully to push his personal agenda.
Shopify dashboard. We just have like a random number generator, and then like we just put the number, like if there's 1,000 orders.
This goes back so far. Oh, that's only 2021. That's only like 3 years ago.
Wait a second. MrBeast is only picking out of the Shopify list? Well, does that mean he's only giving away 2 paid entries after all? No. You can be part of a Shopify giveaway without having to make any purchase whatsoever. These are some generic examples of how to enter Shopify giveaways for free on the official Shopify website. MrBeast scammed someone out of a lifetime of dog food and then tried silencing the so-called victim on Reddit?
As far as fake giveaways go, I'm sort of limited in what I can say without exposing confidential information and getting sued. So my official statement is that sometimes things slip through the cracks, and personally, I believe that is intentional. Here's one example where someone on Reddit posted saying that they were promised free dog food for life in exchange for letting MrBeast.
He just doesn't want to get too specific.
5 months later, they still haven't received their dog food. I actually sent this post to someone who works at MrBeast, and they said they were going to send it to the PR team, and then the Reddit post got taken down. So I don't know if it got resolved.
Not true. Here is a message from the Reddit user stating MrBeast did reach out to them, as well as everyone else. Apparently this user just hadn't noticed at first because the MrBeast company's email went to the user's spam folder. The issue got resolved, and then the Reddit post got deleted.
Sometimes things slip through the cracks, and personally, I believe that is intentional.
things do slip through the cracks.
Formula has more sugar and calories than Hershey's.
MrBeast changed the formula again to where it has mostly the same ingredients as Hershey's, and even more sugar and more calories per bar.
Well, that'd be pretty messed up after MrBeast actively advertised his chocolate to be healthier than Hershey's. Luckily, it's just another lie. Dogpack is being deceitful here because he's comparing a single serving sized 43 grams Hershey's bar to a 2 serving sized 60 grams Feastables bar, instead of comparing it to a 1 serving sized 35 grams Feastables bar. While if you recalculate the ingredients,
oh my god, why do they have to do all this math? I don't understand. Why is it this important?
Hershey's and actually has less calories than the previous formula.
This pit is fake.
No, it's not. Here's footage of them digging the pit. You know what? Here's a crew member's
Like, why is
footage
it that
of the
important
two
to totally
non-CGI
screw somebody
buses
up?
and non-CGI train being in the pits after they drove them in there.
Shredder is CGI.
Nope. At this timestamp, they do shred an actual Lamborghini in a legitimate shredder. But I will say that when they use CGI, it looks fucking terrible, as if it came straight out of a CW show.
This car is digitally lifted.
This car isn't digitally lifted, however, they did change the original red coloring to blue to make a visual distinction between the first rocket car they launched and failed, which was red, and the second one they launched, which succeeded, but was also red. Because they were scared that both cars being red might confuse the audience, so in post, they just changed the second one's color to blue. But there was no digital lift.
How does he know that, though?
What you're saying, the things that you're saying are truly in
Where
good faith,
does he get
and
that information?
You're not a disgruntled employee.
You can watch my video and like view it through the lens of, oh, this guy's just a disgruntled employee. But the evidence still speaks for itself.
Of course.
But the evidence still speaks for itself.
Of course.
This accusation of Dogback404 actually upset this engineering YouTuber who passionately worked on that rocket car for months to get it working, just to have this goober claim that it's faked. But Dawson doesn't care about collateral damage done to others. He doesn't mind throwing people in front of non-CGI buses to push his own agenda. He did it with the rocket car YouTuber. He did it with that tricked employee's phone recording they showed without his consent. He tried doing it with me by calling me over dramatic, pressuring me into making a video accusing MrBeast with uncertain and refutable evidence, which by now I know to be untrue, which he doubled down on, by the way. Every other commentary YouTuber did it without getting sued, even though just because a lot of YouTubers tried milking the situation and threw unsubstantiated, easily disprovable accusations out there for clout, views, and money without getting sued, doesn't make it an okay thing to do, Dogback. Or do you think it's acceptable to make false CP allegations? Which, maybe I should talk about that for a second. See, in a recent video on Rosanna Pansino's channel, Dogback404 claimed to have access to
wow, he's really making the rounds, isn't he?
Chat messages with
well, I guess they want to talk to him so they can get clout.
Distributing alleged CP
and then the more his face is around, the more his face is just seen in general.
Doesn't always use the term alleged.
This is crazy.
This is the most disgusting one by far. Well, actually, the CP was probably more disgusting.
And he also proudly admitted to having downloaded that uncensored alleged CP on a now deleted community post, and admits to having reverse image searched what he thought was CP in the video. Obviously, Dawson French himself was called out for owning and reverse image searching what he believed was fucking CP, because that is weird and a crime.
Of CP are not protected under First Amendment rights and are illegal contraband under federal law. Legal definition of sexually explicit conduct does not require that an image depict a child engaging in a sexual activity. A picture of a naked child may constitute illegal.
So that's Dogpack's voice.
So he deleted that community post to then lie about never having had the uncensored CP on someone else's YouTube video. Funny thing is that
the hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper.
To find this tweet about that
where the frick are we? Hey, we're almost 30 minutes in, but that's we're not even halfway through.
GQ magazine. It legitimately took
I can only imagine what the rest of this freaking video is.
Falsely accuse someone of distributing CP.
It's like he constantly lies to get himself out of trouble, and only when he's run out of lies and in face of a serious trouble and he's run out of options does he reveal the truth. Then he tries to pull the LOL I said allegedly thing
allegedly,
again.
the allegedly
as
card.
Ava alleges, I said in my opinion, I said may, I said if.
Yeah, this is the most disgusting one by far. Well, actually, the CP was probably more disgusting. But
so either Dogback knew that it wasn't CP and made those false accusations anyways, or he's just a fucking idiot who can't even use Google.
That's probably
but
true.
That wasn't the only lie in that video, was it, Dawson?
This isn't a work chat. This is just a small snapshot of a company chat.
Yeah, imagine being MrBeast, even though MrBeast definitely is guilty of some things.
Chats that they communicate on.
Yeah. Everyone is out to get you, so that way they can
it was created
feed
as
off
an
of you.
NSFW meme chat by already known degenerate Ava Christison. There's even examples of Ava getting mad whenever anyone talks about anything work related.
This is just a small snapshot of a company chat. Small snapshot of a company chat.
What you're saying, the things that you're saying are truly in good faith, and that you're not a disgruntled employee.
You can watch my video and like view it through the lens of.
I think it's hilarious
this guy's
people
just a
like
disgruntled
reuse
employee,
clips a whole bunch.
But the evidence still speaks for itself.
However, at one point it was changed to a work chat by Ava, at which point she also kicked everyone unrelated out of there. But then the chat instantly died because obviously no one else, including Jimmy, wanted to use it as a work chat. Now, I will say that even though this image is confirmed not to be CP, Ava
sense.
did seem to think it was at the time, and so this proves that she is even worse than we thought and is a disgusting individual. However, the way Dogpack
I think everyone
tried
in this
distributing
whole
what he believes was a
situation
picture of a
can fit that
sexually
description.
abused child to thousands of possibly child viewers wasn't to inform people of degenerate Ava Christison, but instead was to push his own agenda, framing MrBeast into allegedly knowing that Ava was a confirmed pedophile. It's so disgusting. See, I say framing because if you look at all of the messages around that image, it's a huge rant from not just Ava but other people as well.
Jeffrey
about
Epstein
pedophiles
not dead.
exposed by the hacking group
I
Anonymous.
can't believe I
In
just
this
read
Twitter
that.
thread she linked with that picture of Ivanka Trump because it was in that Twitter thread, as well as a rant about Jeffrey Epstein and billionaire pedos. And I don't think context matters here on Ava Tyson's side. I still think this is fucking disgusting. However, I do think context matters for the people perceiving.
Yes, it does.
Ava
Context very much
Christison's
matters in
messages.
everything.
I'm sorry.
Ugh. Had to pee. We're back.
But if I'd see my
Let's keep
friends
going.
actively ranting about pedophiles and bashing them, I'd actively be convinced to not think they're a pedophile.
I feel like I'm
when
just
they send
I'm just
degenerate memes
going
like
further
this. I
down
just cringe
the
on
rabbit
inside
hole in
while
Alice in
thinking that
Wonderland.
they have a degenerate sense of Zoomer humor. Even Trey Yates, the person who leaked the work chat to Dogpack and Rosanna, refers to those memes as a weird thing Ava found funny in the past, instead of confirmed
Instead of
pedophile
truth?
messages.
A lot of the edgy type of content and a lot of the, edgy cringeworthy humor started with Ava. Like she sent a bunch of messages that probably shouldn't have been sent in a work group
I don't
chat.
even know who this guy is. Like,
just because she thought it was funny at the time.
It gets so deep.
So even
Who's all
he, who
entangled into
actively
Mr. Beast
dislikes
drama?
Beast,
This is
didn't
insane.
even notice.
So with all this evidence, I think it's definitely fair to say that Jimmy knew about Ava Tyson's behavior.
But Soggy, Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack 404 reported Jimmy Beast to the FBI, so he's gotta be a pedophile. I think people
It has to be
vastly
true.
underestimate just how easy you can report someone to the FBI. Even as a non-American citizen myself, I just created this entire forum of Rosanna Pansino and Dawson French, aka Dogpack 404, distributing CP in 2 minutes on tips.fbi.gov, which
Wait, did he
I will
submit
now
it?
submit to the FBI. Soggy Cereal reported Rosanna Pansino and Dawson French to the FBI. Holy shit, they've gotta be guilty now. See what I did there? Also, I didn't submit this
Okay,
because
good.
unlike two other creators, I'd rather not waste the FBI's time from finding actual CP distributors to push a selfish, manipulative, and personal agenda, and manipulating Rosanna Pansino so you could use her bigger channel to spread this disinformation is so vile. Look, I knew you were petty, Dawson, but I never expected you to stoop this low. He also tried dragging the famous anime Higehiro and its fandom through the mud by saying it's about a 26-year-old having a romantic relationship with a minor.
Let's see if Jimmy knew about Ava's concerning behavior. June of 2021, he sends a message of an anime called Higehiro. It says, "I bet Chris would love this show." Why?
What's this show about?
Well, it's interesting that you ask, because this show is about a romantic relationship between a 26-year-old salaryman and a 17-year-old high school runaway.
So Jimmy in the chats is saying, "I bet Chris would love this show."
Yeah, I've heard a whole bunch
right
of
up
stuff
her
about
alley.
the
Why do you think
Ava
Chris would love
Tyson
that show,
stuff.
Jimmy?
And Mr. Beast said
This is
Ava
all
would
insane.
love this. Even though the anime is about the exact opposite.
He posted that one thing about the anime with the adult getting into a relationship with a.
That's okay. Okay, here's the thing. That's a lie. That is such a
Not a
bullshit
lie.
lie.
It's not
Yes,
a
it
lie.
is. Yes,
He
it is.
literally said.
Do we have the
No.
He literally said, "I
The
think Chris
context.
would like
The
this."
con.
Why
The
would
con.
he say that though?
No, the context of that anime. That show is about a 26-year-old guy. Okay, he takes in this runaway girl who is selling herself to prostitution. She's like 17 or whatever, 16. I don't remember. She's 17, 16. She's selling her body because she ran away from home because some other shit happened. And I remember this because my friend tried showing this to me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It turned out it was actually a very wholesome show about this dude kind of teaching her like
saving
how to
her?
get through like all this trauma that she had in her life. There was never any romantic intentions there. Sure, if you watch the anime in the first episode, the girl was coming on to him, but the guy rejected her and saw her
it's all
as
she
a
knew?
daughter. That whole show, he had a whole nother love interest in that show this whole time. This was never about the dude getting into a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old.
You guys actively pissed off the entire anime side of Twitter with this one. So this again more so proves Jimmy didn't know.
So with all this evidence, I think it's definitely fair to say that Jimmy knew about Ava Tyson's behavior.
Wanna know the worst of all? Dogpack and Rosanna used what they thought was a CP picture as clickbait for their fucking thumbnail. They even A/B tested 3 versions of it. You know, just trying to get some more views by putting
I feel like I'm
alleged
getting
CP in
dumber
your
by watching
quirky
this.
Thumbnails. Will the allegedly abused child garner
Just
more
by
views with
watching,
a red background
these people
or
make
the
stupid
pink
decisions.
background? Following their logic, they are now both confirmed pedophiles and should have 100% known that of one another. I can't, dude. I can't. And this video, where they do all this, a dogpack dares to try and invalidate my past accusations that his video IDs he came up with while working at MrBeast were weirding and creeping employees
Did it just
out.
say? Hang on.
A
Oh yeah.
video for
We should
breast
do
cancer awareness.
1,000 boob transplants.
1,000 boobs. So, like, maybe not the most professional way to phrase it. You know, it's a little clickbaity or whatever. But like the actual video is supposed to be paying for mastectomies and cosmetic surgeries for breast cancer survivors.
That's amazing. That's wonderful.
With a thumbnail and title like these? Oh, wait. If this
Whoa.
wasn't supposed to be creepy or weird, then why did you make sure to blur the title and thumbnail when showing it on screen? Don't be shy. I still got the sharp version. Oh, was it because 4 objectified headless pairs of boobs with the MrBeast clickbait face and the title, I bought 1,000 boobs, wasn't in line with your I'm not a weird creep agenda you were trying to push? Yeah, this, it's about cancer awareness.
My brain
message
is
seems more
melting.
like you realizing your manager didn't think that joke objectifying women was funny, and you're then desperately trying to save your own skin by, you know, using cancer, especially when you also sent in these work IDs such as Baby Battle Royale with babies carrying assault rifles,
God.
or Mr.
Wait,
Beast every
is that
drug
AI?
challenge. Were those also for Breast Cancer Awareness Month? Also, didn't you say that Mr. Beast is mainly targeted toward kids?
Encouraging like almost children simping for
Where the
these
heck
people. I would
is
say he's
he?
gained most of his audience since then, and his content's only gotten younger. Now, Mr. Beast intentionally manipulates these children's vulnerable minds.
What happened to that claim?
Vulnerable
Look,
lines.
I expected them at the end of the video to say that it was some twisted parody, but nope. They seemed pretty proud of their slanderous content where they admitted to committing multiple alleged federal crimes. So, same time next week? But his collateral damage doesn't end
Oh, I
with
love
the
he disliked
allegedly
it. Oh, that's
abused
funny.
children. He also uses old people. For example, he tried using contestant 58 from the ages 1 to 100 video by claiming that he didn't really wink.
In this video, this wink was added in post.
And that number 58 didn't hear number 42
This wink was
get him
added in
out
post.
of the booth.
Even if
58
it
was actually on the
was.
far opposite side of the room from 42, and he just didn't hear him.
And because of that, number 58, a 58-year-old man, was so confused and getting harassed online to the point he felt that he had to make a TikTok about it.
Hey guys, Mr. 58. Been a while since I've posted anything, but something's really been concerning me a little bit. I've been seeing things
These
on the
kids
internet
slandering
that
this
have
man.
Said I didn't wink in the MrBeast video 1 to 100. I did wink. I winked a few times, as a matter of fact. The other thing that's been said is I didn't hear 42 say he was stepping out of his cube. Yes, I heard 42 say he was stepping out of his cube. I did it on my own accord to step out with 2 seconds left on the clock.
Why are they pulling this man into this drama?
Staged whatsoever, and I don't know why these rumors are going over the internet that these things didn't happen. Everything that I
It's
did,
because
I
they
did
all
in that
want the
video.
drama, dude.
Nothing was edited after the fact. Everybody be good and have a great day.
This is just
That's never gonna happen. They're never
this
gonna
is
be
just
good.
sad. I
Yeah.
actually got mad seeing this old sweet guy get so upset? And what was Dogbag's proof for these claims? Well, I've got to preview the 1 to 100 video once, so now you've got to believe every baseless claim I make
he worked there
around
for
it,
3 weeks,
because
so
you're
now he's been there for
trustworthy,
every single
Dawson.
video.
I'd rather believe the sweet old guy who literally was in the video.
Everybody be good and have a great day.
He did it with Mark Bates, a random subscriber contestant.
I subscribed to MrBeast and literally won $1 million. I literally was in this video right here, and all I did was subscribe. I had no relation with MrBeast or anything like that. And they flew me down to North Carolina. I live in Cleveland, and changed my life forever. Literally. All I did was subscribe.
Who won $1 million and then made a video after winning that prize, which Dogbag just took a very out of context clip from.
Another example of things slipping through the cracks.
The second thing that I probably would do different is invest. I talked to Jimmy after I won $1 million, after I finally got the remaining amount in my bank account.
At the TV?
I was like, man, I don't want to fail.
Fortnite.
I don't want to be like how everybody's saying, like I'm gonna run out of money and do all this crazy stuff. I was like, man, Jimmy, please help me. And he said he was gonna help me and we was gonna invest, but yeah, that didn't happen. So.
Oh no, he didn't invest for Mark. Oh wait, what's this clip right after? Which Dogbag conveniently didn't put in his video?
Invest, but yeah, that didn't happen. So. Yeah, and let me clarify, Jimmy did help me. Cause I know.
Of course he cuts that out. It's all fake.
He did help me financially, but like giving me money he did give me funds.
Oh, so MrBeast still funded Mark even after winning and spending the $1 million? Okay. Apparently they just had him on a monthly salary at the MrBeast company without him having to perform any work there. Well, this guy's a victim.
Nice.
Mark Bates himself
I
was
want
so
that.
fucking frustrated from Dogbag using
Oh my god, you
this
see the Sky does
out-of-context clip to
Minecraft
push
thing
his
in the
personal
bottom
agenda.
right?
He made
That's
2
insane.
more videos speaking out against all of the DMs he was getting from Dogbag's followers.
Channel everywhere. You guys been saying that I'm a victim of MrBeast and that he didn't help me. You've been talking about everything. It's not my story, so I really wanted to get up here and tell you guys that MrBeast really did come through for me, Jimmy. I love you.
Dogbag doesn't give a shit about who or what he uses or whose life he ruins just to push his own narrative, and it's fucking disgusting. Showing out of context clips and snippets is something that Dogbag does a lot, by the way. He also did it with Mac when MrBeast asked him what he was gonna do with the $800,000 he won.
What are you gonna spend the $800,000 on? I've got 3 friends of mine, childhood friends of mine, and they don't have a lot of money. I'm gonna make sure they don't have to worry about money anymore. I mean, my life's changed now.
Oh wow, he's gonna give it to his 3 less fortunate friends? Well, that is so kind. Let's see what Dawson made of this.
Bathrooms.
What are you gonna spend
Bathrooms.
$800,000 on? I mean, my life's changed now.
Yeah, I'm sure that $800,000 is really going to change your life.
Oh, he cut that whole part out to insinuate Mac was gonna spend it on more bathrooms in his huge mansion that he
These are all like
even
stock
have.
photos.
Mac started working full-time on the editing team at MrBeast. Also, he didn't just move into any old house, he moved into a $1 million mansion. His 6,000 square foot $1 million mansion.
How do you
comes
buy a
with
$1 million
movie
mansion
theater
with an
and
$800,000
bathrooms?
See, I saw the actual property
prize
listing
money?
and, well, obviously I can't show this, so you've got to trust me on my word. But the house is on the name of another editor at MrBeast, which Mac was sleeping over at because he himself didn't have a house. But Saugi, didn't you expose Mac for being a liar? Why are you now picking his side? I don't pick sides, nor do I just blindly hate every person I criticize. What am I? A disgruntled employee acting like a toddler?
Oh my
Mac
god.
left Iraq after all. And by the way, I've never seen Mac try and use fake CP to push a personal agenda. Also, Dogbag, take that clip from my video out of yours, cause now you're using my content to push your lies.
So over the next 7 days, I'm gonna be giving 1,000 random people that subscribe a free Samsung Galaxy S24.
How is this legal? I don't get it. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel.
All you have to do to enter to win one of these phones is subscribe.
It's a scam. Holy shit.
Samsung giveaway was legit. Here you can see old testimonies from random subscribers who won and got contacted by MrBeast. Also,
Wow.
PewDiePie never bashed that clip. It's just another example of Dogbag's manipulative editing. Now,
Yeah, what
even
was
though we've
PewDiePie
only
reacting
touched the
to?
tip of the lies of Dogpack iceberg so far, I preemptively want to ask Dawson, why would you knowingly spread all of this disinformation? Now, Dogpack, something you really shouldn't say because it would make you look real dumb, is either...
He mentioned the fact that he is not a professional journalist or investigator, just a guy throwing allegations around for other people to properly investigate.
As you did in a desperate attempt
Also,
to
what
save
is a
the little
professional journalist
credibility you had
investigator?
left
Because I've seen a
after
lot of
falsely
those
accusing someone of domestic
professional
violence
journalists
and
throw
kicking
out,
their dog
you
in
know,
your third
clickbaity, not
video.
real content
because
as
this
well.
is what you said in your first video, which I'm also
So that wouldn't help his
disproving.
cause
I don't want
anyway.
to put a lot of like hearsay into this video. You should
Literally
just
all of this
believe the
video is
receipts that I'm
hearsay.
showing you and not what I'm saying.
Well, I've looked at the receipts, Dawson, and so far they're telling me that you're a lying asshole. And before you try and defend yourself with plausible deniability, I'll just play this clip.
MrBeast knows this, but you know, he's a poker player. He likes a little bluffery, a little plausible deniability.
Also, me disproving cheap attempts at slander from this guy doesn't mean I'm defending this guy. I know a lot of people believe in the delusion that defending MrBeast is the safe option. I know there's people who have been living under a
there is
rock
a safe
lately,
option
but
here.
defending MrBeast right now is actual career
anywhere.
suicide. While regurgitating Dogpack's lies is the easy and safe way to generate millions of views and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But in my opinion, blindly taking either side should be heavily frowned upon because there's some very questionable and fucked up decisions MrBeast has made that he needs to be held accountable for. And I'll get to that. However, to effectively criticize him, help genuine victims, and hold him morally and legally accountable, we must
This
first
is
clear the
insane.
table
I'm gonna
of
make sure I'm
all
still
of the
recording.
lies that
Hang
have
on.
been spread by Dawson French, aka Dogpack
We're okay.
404,
This
such
is
as
may
the
take
lie
us a
of
while.
feasibles using child slavery.
How long
It
is
takes a
this?
single
We're
Google
halfway
search to
done. We're
find
halfway
several
there.
public articles to prove that from October 2023,
I feel like I'm running a
the same
marathon
time
with this
when
because
they
it's
took
like
their slave-free banner off of the
it just
Feastables
doesn't
website,
end. It just
they've
doesn't
been in
end.
talks
There's just
to
so
join
much.
Tony Chocolonely's Open Chain Ethical Sourcing Initiative, and did so officially from March
Wait, what?
2024. Which, if you don't know, Tony Chocolonely's is a Dutch chocolate brand known for their goal to produce chocolate as ethically
What, did
as possible,
Feastables,
and
like,
one of few companies legitimately
copycat the
doing
recipe?
so. I mean, now Feastables is the first major US-based company who joined them with the goal to actively reduce child labor and slavery in the chocolate production process. But then, why they take slave-free banner off of Feastables' website? Well, dear Dogpack, already typing that question up on Twitter,
Yeah,
you
of
can
course.
literally read the answer on the Tony Chocolonely's website. Why did you make the switch from slave-free to exploitation-free? We've adapted our mission
'Cause
messaging
there's
to
lots of
help us
different ways of
express the scope
exploitation.
impact work we do today. When Tony started, we were laser focused on one issue in the cocoa industry, but as we've grown, our areas of
Yeah.
impact have grown
It's
too.
much more
Our
broad.
mission statement needs to be inclusive of all the work we do today, from addressing multidimensional poverty to remediating child labor and everything in between. Wow! It took one Google search to not falsely accuse someone of using child slavery? Yes. For the people who don't know, Dogpack did falsely accuse someone of DV and AB.
MrBeast, Dogpack404, put out his third video, MrBeast's Secret CEO, in which he was later proven to have accused an innocent man, James Warren, MrBeast's cousin, of domestic violence. He later admitted this on Twitter after his own
Dude,
source
I'm gonna go
disproved him,
insane.
and he looked into it himself, only to find out he accused the wrong
And
guy.
that slanders video is still up, by the way, after more than a month of
I don't
people
know how
begging
any
him to
big
take it
corporation
down.
is
Disclaimer,
existing
he took it
right
down
now.
a few days ago, but after almost
With
2 months
so
and
many
3.1
people
million
in
views,
every
you're not getting off
corporation
the hook that easily, Dawson. And
that
the video
desperately
of the
just
false
want
CP
money.
allegations is also still up. He also made life-ruining allegations against Lokoya Hill, who was the person that made the decision to fire Dogpack. Here's an audio clip from the leaked firing interview at Beast.
And how do we know this isn't AI too?
Part of my job is that you're pushing back on everything that we're saying. So what?
Well, because you're trying to fire me, and I want to work at this company.
I'm the CEO of this company. If I'm talking, don't interrupt me.
Good.
And I am telling you this is what's happening, and you're telling me that I'm wrong. I am not wrong. I've made the decision. Here, we will take care of.
I
helping you
appreciate
back
that.
to where you need.
Can I please have a second chance?
It's not.
Just, if I'm getting paid, just let me come in and let me try to be coachable. If Hoodie changes his mind, can I? I've been trying to get to this point of working.
So he's
on
like
this series
begging
for a
to
long
stay at
time.
the company.
I wonder why he's trying to destroy Lokoya's
And now he's trying to
life.
destroy
I think there
the
are other
company.
people at the company. If I were to switch departments, that would be very happy to have me. I don't care about the salary.
It's not. No. It's not going to happen, dude.
Or Doc Scara.
She's your hiring manager.
Or put a picture of his manager on his psychotic wall for no reason but personal spite. Coincidentally, all three of those people were in the room when Dogpack was fired.
RuneScape's
Car, we are still going to reimburse you.
This is the original contract and the original NDA. And so
It's like he's just doing all this out of a personal grudge. Yes.
We will lie if we have to. I mean, of course. I just try to be honest, I guess.
What a selfless hero. You know, a selfless hero who,
the growing X's on the
didn't
screen.
make these slanderous videos with any personal gain in mind.
That's like the whole point of this is the video's not monetized. It's on a new account.
Wait, what do you mean that's the whole point? You didn't say that.
Like, you know, in the description of my video, it says, or in the intro too, it says this is not monetized. Because if it's monetized, then people think I'm just doing it for clout and money.
But you're doing it to expose the truth on woke media.
Exactly.
But you're doing it to expose the truth on woke media.
Exactly.
This is textbook manipulation. Him saying he's not gaining anything out of these videos is extremely deceptive. He gained 700,000 loyal subscribers.
Yeah, how do we know
collaborations
that?
With huge creators, which he's clearly trying to abuse. And it's all built on lies, deceit, and manipulation. If there is one person who gained anything from all this, it's Dogpack. And purely out of principle, I'm putting a mid-roll ad.
This video
Here
is
Dogpack talks
monetized.
about how MrBeast scammed everyone by having people pay to get their memes sent to the moon, the rocket exploding, and them not offering refunds. First of all, people have shown proof of getting refunds even before the
man.
failed launch, just because it took longer than expected. Second of all, have you thought about a second launch? And as usual, I don't just have to take Dustin's word for it. The news article, which you put in your proof document, literally states the following. However, failure would not mean the end for S Robotic, which is the company MrBeast paid to carry a copy of the hard drive filled with the memes. It's certainly going to have some impact on our relationships and our ability to secure additional missions in the future. S Robotic already has a contract to fly another robotic lunar lander mission for NASA later this year. And this conveniently went unmentioned in your video.
3 years later, the spaceship finally launched, carrying beautiful pictures of deceased loved ones to the moon where they would be immortalized. It fucking exploded.
Side note, here Dogpack also uses another very manipulative tactic where he shows this stinky dinky scrap metal rocket instantly exploding, which made people believe that MrBeast was really trying to nickel and dime this entire space mission, while in reality,
Is that the real
actual
footage?
spacecraft carrying the hard drive was a high quality
Yeah, there we go.
Centaur
There we
rocket
go.
made in collaboration with NASA as well as the ULA.
Vulcan rocket, launching a new era in spaceflight to the moon and beyond.
Stinky dinky rocket. High quality spacecraft carrying the hard drive with memes from MrBeast. Dogpack's manipulation. Reality. But Soggy, what about the insider knowledge he has from working there?
In my opinion, as somebody who works for MrBeast,
It has been proven time and
For
time
3
again,
weeks.
he only worked there for 20 work days. As a new employee in like a 250 to 300 employee company, you're not gonna get much credible insider knowledge in 20 days.
Yeah, that's true.
But he also had anonymous text messages from ex-MrBeast employees. Well, see, I have two notes on that. One is that I feel like anonymous text messages can be used as tangible proof if either you have the receipts to back them up, or you as a person can be trusted to not have faked or
That's
manipulated
true. I
them.
mean, they
Which,
could have.
I
Oh,
don't think
man.
we can
Oh,
trust
there's
Dawson
so much
on that one. And
deception.
two, even if those messages are from legitimate ex-MrBeast employees, they're wrong. This text, for
They're
example, which
wrong.
Dogpack uses as a foundation for MrBeast rigging his challenges, according to them, after a shift change in the 100 Boys v Girls video, no girls were eliminated when closing off their circles, so it was pretty much rigged. They think? Okay. Love the lack of confidence in their own claims. And the lack of confidence makes sense.
So it's
because
fact
if you
then.
simply
Of course,
watch
of
the
course.
100 Girls
It's
v
all
Boys
fact.
video, you can
None of
clearly
it's
see
none of
a
it's
girl
none of it's
got
false. It's all.
eliminated during that part of
I'm
the
gonna go
challenge.
to
And in this
explode.
behind-the-scenes video, you can even see how many cameras they had to make sure the
infinite
challenge
depth of-
wasn't rigged.
so we could constantly monitor. This is the kind of stuff we don't normally show. We had to have 6 or 7 people here monitoring every angle because if they just touch the red line, they're out.
He also used this video as a prime example of MrBeast never using random subscribers, even though multiple people who can be identified by their nameplate can be proven to be random, non-influencer contestants from outside of North Carolina.
They are never random subscribers. If you subscribe, you will not win $1 million.
I subscribed to MrBeast and
I
literally
won $1
$1
million.
Oh, that contestant had to get out for her job? I guess you forgot she's your hiring manager. I actually recognize a lot of people in this video, including Jimmy's own girlfriend.
Yeah, Dawson.
Yeah, he
Because
talked
they were
about
filling
that.
in for contestants who had COVID at the time. You
Yeah,
can see
he did
MrBeast's
say that.
girlfriend
Or she
publicly
said that as
talking
well.
about this in a podcast from years ago, by the way.
I saw on your Twitter that you were in the video 100 girls versus 100 boys for $500,000.
Yes, that was an accident. On the day, everybody had to go for COVID tests, and a lot of people came, got their COVID tests, and they tested positive. And the girls somehow ended up with way too little contestants. So I got a call randomly from the studio, and they're like, we need a female.
What, you wanted them to let contestants with COVID participate?
She didn't even get a call from her boyfriend.
And in this
She got a
podcast,
call from
she
the
also
studio.
says that the contestants were informed beforehand that even if they lost, they'd still receive the $5,000 prize money.
Which was the plot twist. Even if you leave, you get to keep the $5,000, which makes it easier for people to leave the circle.
Yeah.
So the goal was, it was sort of a psychological test, really.
And the people know that if they left, that they would still win.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the big plot twist, which I'm a huge fan of.
So not only were you wrong on
So if they
all
lose, they still
accounts,
win.
This is probably the worst video you could have possibly tried building your case on, that MrBeast challenges are rigged. And then your only other example of this accusation is the "in 10 minutes this room will explode" video.
I want to show one more example. This is a real-time video, meaning that time elapses the same in the video as it does in real life. And the timer is clearly added in post.
Okay, this is just getting embarrassing at this point, but you sent me this picture, Dawson, to seem more credible by proving you were on the set of a video. And if you look real closely at the picture that you took, you'll notice that it's the set from the 10-minute video, where you can see
there's
that
a
the
timer
was
on
in
the
fact
billboard.
not added in post.
So you could assume that producers might be off camera with remote switches to trigger the flow of water.
Assume my ass. You didn't assume shit. You're breaking your NDA by spreading confidential info you knew from being on that
this
set.
dude's so scared
And yes,
about
I do give
NDA.
permission
Here,
to
look at him
anyone
go.
whose life got damaged by Dawson French to use my video against him in court.
The producers might know how long it takes for the water to clear out of the room, so they could sort of decide on the fly how many turns of the valve it takes, or just when to trigger the water in general to make the results close.
No, they did it for safety, as to not force someone to exert extreme force trying to
you wouldn't
turn
want someone to
valves
drown.
underwater
That
in a
wouldn't
room
be very good
submerged
for,
in water. Just like they replaced
you know,
contestants
any
who had
sort of
COVID with
influence.
employees. Because for safety reasons. A
Yeah.
thing you so vehemently claim they lack at the company. Same with this video, where a safety team forced the MrBeast crew off of their raft in the 7 Days Stranded at Sea video for about an hour because of this dangerous lightning storm. Wait, what was it you said again?
You can clearly see there's no one in the shelter. These are their empty beds. But you didn't spend the night soaked, Jimmy. You slept on the production yacht.
Oh yeah. You lied about them allegedly sleeping on a luxurious production
Yeah, Ludwig
yacht.
had this bit
they
as
were
well.
forced to stay on a rusty barge for about an hour for their own safety and went back on their raft as soon as a life-threatening lightning storm passed. And here is video proof from the rusty barge.
This is so luxurious.
Wow, what a luxurious yacht! Now you can still argue about the fact that they went off of the raft, but I don't think it's faking a challenge when you're forced by your safety team to leave your raft once to get on a rusty barge for about an hour to sit out a life-threatening lightning storm to then get back on the raft as soon as possible. It's making sure people don't die. On one side you're preaching, the MrBeast company isn't safe enough.
Wow.
But then you use every single example of them actually implementing safety protocols against them as if they're doing it to rig challenges, or not always use random subscribers. Do I really have to explain why they don't use complete strangers in challenges that include a man and a woman having to stay together in a small enclosed space for 100 days? Pick a side, Dawson. Do you want them to fucking die for a challenge, or do you want them to be saved? Guess why the 24 people in a circle for $1 million video didn't
Obviously
get
not.
published,
Dogpack
which
doesn't want
Dawson
anyone to
insinuates
survive
was some
because
elaborate
obviously
scheme to
he's
force
just here
more
for
people
drama.
to buy
Clout.
shirts, and then they'd run away with the profit.
We're gonna have 24 people. We're gonna put them in 24 different circles. $1 million on the line. Have some fun. You know what I'm saying?
Also, this video never happened. There is no MrBeast video of 24 people in circles competing for $1 million. So, like, did they just pocket the money or what?
Yeah, wait.
Well, again, it was because of peak COVID. And this time, I'll let the contestants
I was
who
like,
took
no,
part in
but
that
they're
24
like,
people in the circle for $1 million challenge explain what happened. I've heard that you were in the 24 people in a circle compete for $1 million challenge.
Yep.
Can you talk a bit about how you were invited to that challenge? What kind of happened?
Hang on, I gotta
why
check
it
if I'm
was never
recording
published?
again.
MrBeast started that 24-hour live stream where he was signing T-shirts. And
It's still going.
giving
I'm
stuff
proud
away
of
for
my
that
face cam
challenge.
thing.
So I threw that on. I'm like, look, we'll just put this on in the background. We'll watch it the whole time. And he was giving away tickets, and I just kept blowing up the comment section. I didn't even buy a shirt. I won one of the invitations through the comment section on YouTube.
Oh, for free, as like a free participation. No purchase necessary, I guess.
Yeah, during like the height of COVID and everything. It was actually in November. We quarantined for 2 weeks. It was a super nice hotel, like, 2 bedrooms. They'd bring meals to our room 3 times a day. It was good food, just wanting to keep everybody safe and make sure that we're doing protocols the best way that we could to engage in this video. We all COVID tested, did a giant circle. There was 24 of us, and right in the middle, there's $1 million. And we competed for a few days. All of a sudden, in the middle of the night, one of the subcontractors that worked for the team came in and kind of rushed the gun and didn't wait for his COVID results. And he tested positive. And Jimmy came out and he's like, guys, I hate to do this, but one of the guys on the crew has tested positive. I got to keep you all safe. So they canceled the video and they apologized. They sent us all home with 10 grand as an apology. After
10
the
grand?
new year in
That's pretty good.
January or something like that, we actually got the call again that they were going to refilm this video. And they brought us all back out. And they're like, it's not going to be a 2-week quarantine. We're going to do like a 4 or 5 day quarantine. And during that period of time, pretty much everybody got COVID, including myself. Like, I'm so sorry, but like we literally just, we can't do it because everybody's sick, but we'll make it up to you in the future. And again, even then, he gave us like financial contributions to help.
Did they split just like the $1 million over everyone?
Exactly.
Or they just split
Exactly.
the entire $1 million prize money.
Well, that's pretty nice.
Over
They
every 24 contestants.
They took the $1 million and divided it through the 24.
They gave you guys $1,240,000 in total, I guess.
To stay in a hotel room.
Jesus Christ.
That's
you guys
pretty
get the point
awesome.
that this guy is about as trustworthy as Richard Nixon during Watergate. At this point, he has broken
Wow,
his
what a deep
NDA,
cut.
committed serious defamation time and time again, and in the process harmed not just MrBeast, but also several other innocent people who clearly mean nothing more to him than collateral damage. I'm actually surprised people don't want this guy sued, but hey, I'm no lawyer, so
It looks
I don't
like
know
Mr.
what's
Beast is
illegal.
gonna.
So I called one, and what Dawson is doing is surely not legal. By now, the results of an investigation done into the MrBeast
Yep, that's what I was talking
by
about
an
before. I
external
brought that up
third-party
beforehand.
law firm have been shared.
That's like
and
one of the few things I
completely
do about
aligns
this.
with all of the evidence I found. So if at this point you still choose to believe this guy, I kindly want to ask you to stop watching my video and continue putting crayons up your nose while drooling over Dogpack's face. Hey! What, however, is legal is the second illegal lottery.
But almost any clip you do find will have some new violation of internet gambling or sweepstakes laws.
I thought it was him. I was like, he won. Wait, really? Let's go. Wait, it's literally like his initial. Who is it? My cousin. Wait, really?
Actually, that's illegal.
Actually, that's not illegal. Only immediate family can partake in your sweepstakes,
God.
and the cousin is not
this
immediate
is-
family. It would have been illegal.
I've said this
to
way too many
exclude
times already, but
Chandler's
this is so,
cousin
like,
unless
insane.
if specified in the rules of that specific giveaway.
Of how
And your
careful
snippet
everyone
isn't
has
from
to
those
be.
rules. It's from some lawyer's equivalent to Stack Overflow.
So here's a clip of Tyler using MrBeast's signature. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I think this is fraud.
Maybe ask your immediate family. I mean, lawyer next time, because your opinions are fucking stupid. It's completely legal and fine to use someone else's signature if they gave you formal consent to do so, and it doesn't devalue the signature.
Months later, Mr. Beast signed shirts again, but this time it was a 24-hour live stream with way more illegal
you should probably look that up for
lotteries.
yourself. I don't know about trusting anything now on the internet
description,
ever.
And even though they did say things like,
Would you guys prefer that we throw money in random orders or that we throw items in random orders?
Yeah. Somebody screamed in chat.
All of the above.
I want to switch. Hey. Buy a shirt.
If they ended up picking out of both free and paid entries for those giveaways behind the scenes, which there is no reason to believe they didn't, well, then that is legal in live streams. However, I do agree that it's very scummy and manipulative advertising in my opinion. Now, even though I have disproven most of these accusations, there's still a few that I have to investigate deeper. I mean, since Dogpack404 declined every interview, the only other place I could dig up the truth is in the belly of the beast.
Oh man, North Carolina?
Isn't that the boring part of the US?
Yes.
Well.
Now, on my 8-hour
The beast!
sleep-deprived flight, I had a lot of time to think and watch Minions. And there was one question that just kept bugging me. Why did Dogpack commit such serious defamation and violate his NDA? Why risk your entire life just to spread lies about a YouTuber? So I went over everything I knew about Dogpack to try and figure out his motivation. I rewatched his first 2 job applications for MrBeast, which both got denied, and they seemed obsessive at best and pretentiously unprofessional at worst. I went over his personal Reddit account, that 5-head guy, which, for the geriatrics watching, 5-head is hip internet lingo for when a person says something very smart. So he's calling himself very smart, which is pretty pretentious and cringe. I was starting to see multiple patterns here. Hundreds of obsessive posts and comments on the MrBeast subreddit. New MrBeast interview just dropped. Feasible designs. Him being pretentious, saying he would do shorts better than the current shorts team at MrBeast. Rants whenever people criticize his video IDs. Another third 15-minute long obsessive MrBeast job application where he goes into depth on viewer psychology, showcasing how aware he is of how every small piece of a video can be used to manipulate the viewer in one way or another. It now made sense why
he's
Dawson
obsessed
used
with
the exact same content
manipulation?
as iDubbbz, or why he kept repeating his videos weren't monetized, or how he was able to frame and manipulate every lie as if it were the truth. It really all was viewer manipulation? This entire Reddit account just seems like the online embodiment of an unhealthy MrBeast.
Oh my gosh.
So then I went over his erratic DMs to me where he threatened to slander me with nothing but false claims. Luckily, when he did that, I still had bulletproof receipts, so Dawson had no choice but to back down. Nonetheless, this once again proved to me
he
how
said, alright, I won't cover it.
And tries silencing people without any fact-checking and completely tries warping the truth to push his personal agenda. So, was he really just doing all this because his ego couldn't accept the fact that he got fired from his dream job after only 3 weeks at
I don't know,
a YouTuber
man.
he
Apparently.
was obsessed with? Maybe I'm gonna get some more answers at the MrBeast company, but for now, I'll just rewatch
More
Minions
Despicable
for
Me.
the third
Yes,
time.
that's the way to go. Uh-oh, interview time.
Hi, Dustin Harris. You are the, well, rogue employee. And I first of all wanted to ask you what you do at MrBeast, what your role is, and why you decided to reach out and, correct some of the accusations that have been made.
I work for Jimmy almost 6 years. Going on 6 years. I've been a writer, director, producer, production coordinator, an assistant, an executive assistant, head of production, head of creative, head of construction, you name it. I've done everything that I can do in this company, and not just to see people slander the work
So he's
that
still
you've done,
working
but
at
to know
Beast.
that it's lies and misinformation will make anybody speak up, to be honest.
Hi, Emily. You worked at MrBeast. Can you tell me how long you've been working there?
I've been working there
Ideation
for
team at
shortly over a
MrBeast?
year, as of like 4 days ago. I'm the ideation strategist right now. Ideation
What does that even mean? You just like make
generator,
ideas for
coordinator,
MrBeast?
So that's my official title.
If I remember correctly, that is also where Dawson worked, or for the
Yes.
internet, Dogpack404
Yes.
worked, yeah. So he worked closely together with you.
Yeah, it was me and him in the
For 20
department
days.
for about 2 weeks.
Did she
It was
get
just
him
the two of
fired?
us, and Hoodie
Is she the
was
reason why he's gone?
overseeing us.
Everybody calls me Hoodie because
All I did back in the day, 8 years ago, was run my own YouTube channel, youtube.com/hoodie. I got to work all over in different departments. I've been in creative, I've been in ideation right now as far as thumbnail.
When you're saying ideation manager, I guess then you were the manager of Dawson or Dogpack 404.
I was the manager of Dogpack 404 for a time being.
I've heard some stories of people feeling kind of off when he was hired, and I was wondering, why did you hire him?
Yeah, it seemed like an obsessive, crazy
I
person.
that man.
Oh, okay, you didn't. Okay, how did that come to be then?
You want to know? So the real thing that actually happened was he applied to Beast while I was still the creative manager. He applied to Beast twice, and I saw his interview and went, interesting. He's got an analytical brain.
Yeah.
That's not creative. Like, what he's talking about just won't fit what we're trying to do with our videos. So I turned him down the first time.
Okay.
Then he applies the second time a couple months later.
To ideation, I guess.
Still the creative.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, nah, this guy's still like, he's got like an interesting mind, but I don't know. I think he'd probably fit somewhere else in like a different department or a different channel. Who knows? He's clearly smart, but nah, I'm good.
Good not for what you're going for.
I don't know what happened. A void opened up, something random happened. He spawned in on the channel. Just randomly in ideation. I got summoned into a room and got told by our leaders, they're like, hey, there's a gap in ideation and thumbnail. I need somebody to go in there and help. Can you be that guy? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go in.
Okay.
And I went in, and that's the first time I met Dawson.
Dawson sent me a screenshot of messages he had between you and him. Can you just verify that these are real? These are.
Yes,
Yeah, okay,
those
so
messages are between me and Dawson.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Can you tell me a bit about your relationship with Dawson during both of you guys working there? Was there something that felt off?
What do you call it? Trial against Mr. Beast seems to be now just turned on to a trial of Dogpack. Again, like I said before, this edge. I mean, the sword cuts both ways.
Say it was a little uncomfortable with just me and him in the office. He seemed pretty disinterested in making genuine connections with people at the company. He gave weird vibes for sure, and I felt like very uncomfortable working in the office with him. He didn't seem to work too well with others.
Okay.
It seemed like he had no respect for Hoodie. He didn't take any of Hoodie's advice. It seemed like he didn't think he knew what Hoodie was doing. But yeah, Dawson definitely did not like Hoodie. Yeah, did not like Hoodie, did not show him any respect.
Well, I mean, he probably knew that Hoodie
was trying to train
turned him down
into
every
being
time.
a better ideation strategist.
So there was a leaked document, about like work culture, and there was a line in there. No, it doesn't mean no, and it has a pretty negative connotation. And I was wondering, because you as a woman working at
I'm just laughing.
what was your
This is
reaction
insane.
when reading that no, it doesn't mean no thing? And
Yeah, so I actually wrote that part. That's why it's funny. Yeah, because I actually wrote this thing with Jimmy doing this. The whole reason why this thing exists in the first place is because we are growing so fast, people-wise. It's like, okay, how do we give them artificial Jimmy time?
Big
how do we
operation now.
teach them what CTR is? Teach them what 1 out of 10 is? Like, how do you say, okay, this is how we think about creative. This is how what it takes to be successful here. Based off of the hard things we got to do. That's the intent behind the document, right? No doesn't mean no is wildly taken out of context, I think, in this situation, because in the way that we mean it, it's a very sales tactic. It's like, again, like I mentioned, you call a crane operator and go, hey man, I need you to drop a jet from your crane.
The phrase could be left,
no, I can't do that, right?
Could be much left to be desired.
Like, well, why can't you do that? And they're like, oh, well, I don't have the manpower to do this. And it's like, okay, well, how do we help you get past that, right?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Can we help get you more labor? Is it like that's what it means, because like we wouldn't have a company if we stopped at no at face value.
Yeah.
Right? Because if everybody that told us no, we couldn't do some of the crazy things that we've done. It, in no sense of the word, in the context means, like, as a female, if somebody comes up to me and says an improper comment, like, they keep trying. Like, not at all.
Okay,
you know
because
what I
that
mean?
was kind of concerning, I guess. But
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Like, in any sense of the word, it's like, no, like, it's a sales tactic. It's been around long before, like, we put it down on paper.
The truth of the matter is we were 4.5 weeks out of that video and we didn't have a hole or a train. And I don't know if you know anything about digging dirt, but it takes a long time to dig a hole that deep. And the location we ended up shooting it at happens to be a close personal friend of mine, and just happened to have a 50-foot deep quarry that was already dug. And the creative behind the video was that it was an 80-foot hole. So I had to get it dug another 30 feet in 4 weeks, which that much limestone is a lot to do. So we hired a massive excavating team to come out and dig the other 30 feet out. And then the reason that the hole is CG'd in the video is because of safety, right? We needed to create a back wall that the train wouldn't crash into and potentially kill people. So the hole is a little bit bigger than the video that we put lifts and cameras on that were far enough away that the train wouldn't hit them and no one would die, right? So it was all a safety concern. It was not about faking a hole at all.
War crime stuff, that was a joke. Why did you make that joke?
I didn't work on that video. I was obviously I was in the company at the time. I was working
I didn't work on the video, so
I got a call and they were like, "Hey, Jake's not doing so hot." And so I came in and the assessment was accurate. He was not doing so hot. Okay. I just kind of I was talking to him. I was trying to cheer him up, and I made that joke. It's a war crime. I didn't think it was going to turn into a bunch of thumbnails and titles on YouTube, but it was
the world we live in.
A joke, and it was definitely framed a little more maliciously.
Yeah,
in the video.
They didn't insinuate it as a joke in the video. They didn't show the war crime, definition of war crimes while it's being said. Which, can you talk a bit about, since you were friends with Jake Weddle, did he talk about it afterwards, or do you know, how it came to be that he had such a rough time in that challenge, in that isolation challenge?
Again, I didn't work on the video, so all I can do is I
can't really say anything because I don't really know anything. All I did was say a joke.
We normally go through when we cast. We usually find someone who we think is going to be good for a video, and we usually work with them leading up to the video, letting them know not exactly the challenges that we're going to be doing, but round about the level of difficulty that the challenges are going to be, and then we kind of lay out the challenge, right? We'd never really had that issue up to that point, and we haven't ever had that issue since that point. We've even done videos like the Trap Together video that had really, really similar aspects to the video Jake was in, and they had a positive experience after the fact. I mean, it was a tough challenge for them, but they released these videos after the fact. Now, that doesn't take away the way that Jake felt in that video, and I would never do that. I saw the guy; he was not doing so hot, and I don't know what happened in there specifically to make that happen. I don't, I know Jake. He's not lying when he said he had a bad time. Say I don't want to say that it was 100% Jake is the reason that challenge didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to turn out. Some people approach challenges just completely different, and that's the thing is.
That's
my
true.
brain tells me that if other people have gone through similar challenges and they've turned out okay, then maybe it's not the challenge. And I'm not the type of person that holds grudges. And I know I still work here now, and I know he's still making videos, and I know people
yeah, he's interviewing a bunch of people who still work for MrBeast.
And I'm like, in 10 years, none of this is going to matter between him and I. And I'm sure we'll have a beer together because it's in the grand scheme of things. My friendship with him is more important than anything anybody's going to say online. When he spoke out, I know what he ran into as well. I know he ran into people that sent him hate. I know he ran into people that were sending him death threats. I know that he got doxxed. I know his phone number got leaked.
Wow, I'm surprised he's still going.
In that scenario,
how much longer is this video?
It sounds like he couldn't really turn.
Okay, we're getting there. Oh my god! So the hole is almost at its conclusion. Well, right now anyway, because MrBeast is still yet to officially
Rosanna
sue
and Dogpack and all the people that are making these videos.
I think, right?
I think he found a family and he found a home. I don't fault the guy for sticking with that little group of people making videos. It just makes sense.
So something I also want to ask you about is about Lokoya Hill. And there was some mismanagement from him towards his assistant. There are some allegations out there, but nothing concrete so far. And can you tell me a bit about what really went on with Lokoya Hill?
Yeah, so just to kind of give you background on when someone reports something to HR, which was would have been me at the time because it was years ago. Whenever somebody reports it, I go, hey, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. We're going to make sure that we do everything we can to look into it. Then we always hire a third party company, either a lawyer or someone that's not here to prove one person right or wrong, but a true unbiased party. And so then everybody talks to him, the person, his assistant would have talked to them, Lokoya would have talked to them.
The people who investigated themselves?
Any person that they named
as
witnesses,
people who they hired to investigate MrBeast?
Text messages, pictures, anything like this company would have dealt with. And then they write a report and then they go, hey, here's what you should do, right? Yeah. And so that's what they do. And then internally what we do is like, okay, the assistant, like, what do you want to happen, right? If it's this, if it's that, like obviously if it's found like he's gone, like that's not okay in any workplace, you know?
If it's like confirmed that there is something,
like of course, like we're not gonna hang on to that, right? And so, and he's like, yeah, I don't necessarily want him to be fired, but like I don't want to be around him, I don't want to see him, like it's just really uncomfortable for me, you know? So we're like, okay, great. So like I actually worked with him to come up with a list of like jobs that he wanted, because again,
well, I
mean,
I guess that's what happens when you make a company with like 250 people.
Now what's your job? Like, so it was like we came up with everything he was interested in, like what he wanted to do and stuff like that, and move him into a different role. And we said, hey, you won't have to see LaQuoya again. We're gonna like move him completely out. It wasn't a secret. Like we moved him to a new company idea that we had. He was the only person in that company. He wasn't even on site. He wasn't working in the building. He wasn't anything like that. Like we just said, hey, we think this is a cool idea. Go figure it out. And so he went on his own to go figure that out.
Just go do it.
And then the assistant worked with us for a long time. And then when he wasn't here anymore, I think it was like almost a year after the assistant like had chosen to do whatever he wanted to do. Then we were like, okay, we'll bring LaQuoya back to help, because at this point there's no conflict anymore. So that's really what it was. Like it was no, oh, we're gonna go hide LaQuoya over here, and like, I mean, even now LaQuoya doesn't work for us anymore.
Most of the time he was there was consumed in trying to get an Apple Vision Pro.
Any weird stories circulating?
So he just wanted expensive crap?
Something Dawson did at the company, or?
I heard that he told the chef that his food was trash.
I heard that story too, and then he like denied it in a video afterwards, and I talked about that, but
I'm not sure how much truth there is to that, but I mean, maybe we could call him and see like, hey, this is Emily from Ideation.
Hey Emily, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Cool. Well, I'm here with Soggy. I wanted to ask you, I have a question to ask you about Dawson, but I want to make sure you're comfortable being recorded first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So I heard a rumor circulating that Dawson told you that your food was trash. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time I actually met him. It was
the first time you met him?
Of our studio.
First impressions.
And he actually came over, tried some of the food that we had in the fridge, and then proceeded to tell me it tasted like shit, and that he wishes that we would cater more frequently.
Wow.
Which is fairly interesting, because I'm not sure if I had introduced myself or maybe he just felt comfortable enough to tell me the food tasted like shit.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it went, my first interaction with him. And then other than that, I really had no other interaction or wanting to have any other interaction with him after that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm really sorry to hear that, but I disagree. I think your food is great.
Thank you so much. I mean,
recently,
I haven't had it.
I
would love to have
it. Getting some traction. One of the clinics where some of the eye surgeries were happening, and
fixes. He
1,000 people.
Does surgery for blind people.
And
that
they
video got a lot of
the MrBeast company
flack.
hadn't paid for any of the surgeries yet. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, one of the doctors, one of the people who worked on that video said that's true, and then MrBeast figured it out, and it was miscommunication on the people who were supposed to pay, the people who provided the stuff.
You were trying to spread it.
It was just miscommunication, and then MrBeast did pay for it after they figured out that it didn't happen.
One of those organizations somewhere,
so that's all fixed
around the world,
should be
didn't receive the compensation. Which we only worked with the third party. We paid them for 1,800 surgeries.
Oh, 1,800, so not 1,000.
Yeah. We kept going after 1,000. We just worked with them. And we did more than 1,000, but the title of 1,000 sounds a lot better. So we just says 1,000, and it looks good.
Yeah.
So we worked with that third party, and that third party, I don't know what communication error happened between them and the other organization, but some way or another that organization ended up not being funded properly.
Okay.
And then when it came across our desk that the missing loop happened, we just went around the third party we originally worked with to compensate them.
Yeah.
And they've put out a video since talking about it.
We're doing a video where we're trying to help people walking.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah.
Actively, partners have pulled out because of these videos.
Wait, that's cool though.
There are people who will not walk or will have to delay in them walking
because of the videos that Dogpack made.
That was
unironically, like I was getting
so
pitched
sad.
ideas like Jimmy trying every drug in existence.
That was also like a serious idea that he had.
Yeah,
I joke.
It again goes back to like the no, I'm joking. Because if I pitch you an idea of like Jimmy tries every drug and you're like, that's sick, I'm like, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, but if I would go like, that's kind of weird.
I'd be like, whoa,
oh, it's a joke.
Whoa, you're taking that weird. I was just putting that in as a joke. Like, that's crazy.
How in depth he went on like how viewer psychology works. So he obviously knows how like every part of a video can manipulate the viewer in some way or form.
What are those spaces between the lines, or those spaces between the words? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I can't even think.
But also you can see that just in the videos he made.
Like what's the difference between what people say and what they mean?
He accuses the MrBeast company of really trying to psychologically target children and like manipulate children. Is there any truth to that in the ideation team?
Says Dogpack.
Did he try to bring his like skills of a viewer psychology into ideation? Did he try to do that?
Yes to that. Yes to trying to bring his skills of viewer psychology into ideation, and also trying to like bleed it over to creative.
Yeah.
So that way
what
we
he's
can
doing
figure
on
out
his
like,
channel.
okay, well, psychologically a near miss is going to be the craziest thing that we could do here. We should do that, which he has on his like Miro boards, where it's like the exact things that he calls Jimmy out for. If he was here for longer than a month, he would know that we were actively working at aging up our content, because that was something that we were like very cognizant of. Is hey, we should make our content something that is appealing and enjoyable to like people who are older. Like, who are the people that are watching
you get better
our videos?
longevity.
Probably 30 to 40 to 50 to even 60-year-olds. How do we make our videos enjoyable for those guys? So we're hitting a general audience. Now, you could argue, a general audience. I mean, we need to make a video that, like, a 10-year-old and a 90-year-old can understand, which is the same for the challenges that we have to do in videos like that anyways. When we do a video like ages 1 to 100, fight for blah, 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 we have to make a challenge so simple to understand and easy to process.
That's true. I've heard their team talk about that.
A 99 to 100-year-old can understand. Like, we need to keep that in mind. That's just generalizing.
Is MrBeast evil?
I went all the way from America and back, and all I gotta show for it is this ugly plushie and this fart gun from Minions.
Hey! Nice.
And
I'll take
the
one if you don't want it.
Held, by the way, which did clarify a lot. I think I personally finally realized how big of a company and how many people actually work at MrBeast. It's not like a small 10 people thing as it was a few years ago. And I'm glad that the interviews clarified Jake Weddle's experience and didn't end up invalidating his personal perspective, but did add some context that it might have not been the challenge that was terrible, but he himself wasn't mentally in the best state in life at that point. But there's one more thing I have to clarify for everyone, and that is the illegal lottery number 1. Which, on my flight back, I finally found some proof that the first illegal lottery was in fact illegal. There was no purchase necessary in the description, no mention of it at all. Yeah, it was illegal. And personally, Jimmy has to own up for it. Either by donating the amount of profit he made in that live stream to a charity, or by refunding everyone who bought
in
a
the
shirt
scheme
in
of
that stream,
things,
but
that's
like
only
so
one
many years
check
ago,
mark
so
out
I
of
don't know if that's a
how many?
possibility. We'll do a giveaway live stream where everything is given away for free, with no
I guess 3
merch
check
sales
marks.
attached.
Well,
However,
2.5.
I do also want to note that most YouTubers, including me, didn't know that you could do something like an illegal lottery. So since only the first one was illegal, I feel like it might have been a mistake. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. Just as the question if MrBeast is evil isn't for me to say, but that is again for you, the viewer, to decide. Because there is some shit that he should be criticized for and has to be looked into. I know CoffeeZilla is doing an investigation into his crypto stuff, and once that releases, I hope that clarifies some things. Because those are some serious allegations. And that wasn't of like stupid adolescent Jimmy, 19 years old, and hiring someone without doing background checks. That was like 3 years ago, way more recent, that he should be held accountable for if he did commit crimes with crypto. So yeah, go check CoffeeZilla's video on that once it releases. I couldn't really investigate the crypto stuff because I don't know shit about crypto, and I didn't want to be hypocritical.
I mean, I don't know anything about any of this stuff.
I don't know anything about, because that's basically what Dawson has been doing for the past few months. I feel like Jimmy has to become way more transparent, because that is how he got in all this trouble in the first place. They really have to start a MrBeast behind the scenes channel to upload behind the scenes footage there. And stop with the deceptive shit. When you do a sponsor read,
they gotta be more transparent about everything.
Don't let the yellow bar go real fast at the start to make the viewer believe that, you know, oh, this advertisement isn't gonna take long, I won't skip over it. But then at the end of it, make the visual timer suddenly run
go very slow.
That's not just deceptive. I think that's pretty disrespectful towards your audience. And I know that there are still questions that you guys probably have with stuff that I just couldn't address because there is so much, but I can forward
It's insane how much
some
there
other
is.
people who have talked about stuff that I might have forgotten in this video. You know, if you want to know some more about Beast Games and the Beast Games lawsuit, definitely check out Stucky's channel. He did a great deep dive on that, and I made many other videos on the whole Dogpack MrBeast situation. And again, once CoffeeZilla's investigation on the crypto stuff is out there, I highly recommend you to go watch that, because that'll clarify a lot of stuff that I don't know anything about. Because I trust those investigative creators 10,000 times more than I do Dawson. Instead of having competent people investigate serious accusations, he's just been throwing baseless shit at the wall.
It really just depends on what you as the audience member or the viewer believes. Or wants to believe. That's the thing.
Deceptive, and after
what do you
all
want
this,
to believe?
I just know that he is.
If you hate MrBeast, and you're gonna believe
I've been
Dogpack.
investigating this for like
even if
the
people say he's
past
wrong.
3 months, and I really hope that I was able to answer some questions you guys had before watching this video. Also, Jimmy, stop the collabs with Logan Paul. If you want to see some more of my interviews or some extra additional context that I have, but wasn't able to put in this video, let me know in the comments below. I might talk about it on my socials, so make sure to check those out in the description, as well as maybe post some stuff on my second channel, so make sure to check that out as well. Thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for joining my cereal bowl so I can absorb all of your fibers and nutrients, and I hope that the MrBeast drama is finally over now.
It'll never be over.
I'm sick and tired of it.
Because he's gonna keep growing, and it's gonna keep getting more insane, and he's gonna keep growing. His brand is gonna be so much of a corporation that it's gonna be actually the drama it won't end. It won't end. And I hope MrBeast knows that. But we're gonna go for the last video here. That's like 2 minutes. So this is our last. This is our last
several
one.
months, MrBeast has finally responded to the allegations. Umpaville put out a video
finally
where he interviews MrBeast, which is 2.5 hours long. The video had no cuts in it, nothing was edited out, there was no NDA signed, so couldn't have been manipulated in any way. Jimmy starts off by being questioned why he didn't respond for so long. His response was that because the allegations from Dogpack basically started around the same time he was having his entire company investigated, he was told he shouldn't say anything else publicly until the investigation was over. Little did he know the investigation was going to take 3 months. He said after it happened, he did try and work on a response video, but it just... But it just didn't feel right. And he regrets not doing a response earlier because him not responding for so long has been used as a point to why he's guilty. There's also a document in the top of the description of the video with proof to back up a lot of his claims. He debunks the claims his philanthropy was fake with proof. He provided proof that Feastables is entirely ethically sourced and not slave labor, as people have claimed. He addresses the Delaware situation.
I didn't know that all of this was like
sex offender.
I didn't know it went this
19.
deep.
He says he had no knowledge, but admits he was still an idiot for not doing a background check on any of his employees back then. There was also a rumor that the nickname Delaware for the guy he hired was because he was banned from Delaware, but this was just simply a nickname, and this is backed up by an old video from MrBeast where he first hired Delaware, where he was working at a Best Buy and his name tag said Delaware on it. He has offered a full refund to anyone who bought merch in the stream that Soggy Cereal said was actually considered an illegal lottery. A lot of people in the comments said Umpaville didn't go hard enough on MrBeast and didn't really push back on any of his answers. Though in the document, MrBeast does say he's still down for CoffeeZilla to do a deep dive. When asked, he says he might sue Dogpack because of the amount of misinformation he spread and how much money he lost. Also, when asked about the CoffeeZilla stuff, he does reiterate that the wallet that was linked to him was, in fact, a fund that other people were using. As far as I could tell, everything was addressed in some way. If you're on the fence, I suggest just watching the video. I think anyone leaning towards being in MrBeast's favor will be happy. People who straight up dislike MrBeast will probably want more. End of the day, apart from the allegations debunked with 100% concrete proof, it is up to you to decide what you think of MrBeast after all this. Of course, this is slop, so if I didn't mention an allegation that you're wondering about, it will be in the video. I think everything was covered in some way. Hopefully this isn't too long. Thanks for slopping by.
Wow. So at the end of the day, what do we learn? That everybody's freaking don't trust anything. That's all. I'm gonna die. My brain is melted. For those of you who have stuck around this long, I applaud you. I sincerely do. This is insane. I can't. I'm not. It's just. MrBeast needs to own up for what he did, and Dogpack needs to shut up, and freaking, it's actually crazy how much is going on, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna end at any point soon anyway. But woo, I now I can say I know everything about MrBeast drama, and so can you. That's the whole point of this. So thank you all so much for watching this and enduring this with me. This has been insane. So thank you all so much, and I didn't expect this to be as long as it was. Maybe I'll edit it down, maybe I won't, I don't know. But subscribe, like, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts about the MrBeast, all that crap down in the comments, and we can have a discussion. I'll reply and all that stuff. We'll see what we all believe at the end of the day. So that's it. See you in the next video. Bye-bye!